Welcome, everybody, to Bitcoin Spike. This is London. We have a great stream tonight. We're going to talk about TA for Bitcoin. Want to shout out to all the VIP in the house. Hope you guys are doing very well. Getting a little bit of price action on BTC. Very interesting price action. We're up against the line of resistance. Hugely important. You need to dial into this specific stream. Very important in terms of this line of resistance that currently is grabbing hold of the market. You need to tune into this stream, guys. Tune into the TA as we go through it. Just a small glitch to the downside, but pay attention. This is London. Hope you guys are doing well tonight, and we want to shout out to all of our VIP. Make yourself known in the chat, please. Let me know who is here. We want to shout out to everybody. Hit that like button on the way in. What's up, guys? Appreciate you guys being here. We took last night off, just to let you know. We were waiting for price action. Now we're going to talk about this specific level of resistance. No one has been talking about it, okay? So in terms of this level of resistance, we're seeing some interplay at this top line. I want to shout out to Angel Matos, our #1 contributor. Angel, it means so much for you to be here, period, that you would be here in such strong form in terms of donations, etc. Brother, it means the world. We really appreciate having you. Angel invested in Bitcoin at $7.79. You guys may or may not know that. He is the #1 crypto trader. I will tell you, we've looked around. Angel has too. So in terms of that, we've looked around. You're not going to find a better crypto trader than Angel Matos. So we're excited to have you here, Angel, my brother. Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Sometimes I like to take Monday off, let everybody kind of relax just a bit. Hey, we got No Torque in the house. No Torque, time to upgrade. What's up, brother? Yo, Pathfinder in the house. Pathfinder, nice to see you as well. Pathfinder been tearing it up in the chat in the back. The back room has. I always tell people this year, and No Torque. I want to say No Torque. Shout out to No Torque. Torque. Let me put this in here real quickly. I'm just chatting with the guys. Time to upgrade. I want you to upgrade, brother. It's a big deal. We want you in the back. We got great charts, great everything going on back there. So we're excited about the potential for you guys to upgrade. Now, in terms of this specific move, we're going to be paying attention. Everybody like, yeah, it's time to pay attention, right? In terms of this level of resistance, we called this out. We talked about the potential pennant to the upside. Big deal. Now, in terms of the downward pricing targets, we're going to go through our standard feature in terms of what's picking up right now. VIP in the back are already ahead of the game. You guys need to know that. Shout out to Pathfinder. And guys, you should have your picture up there. I know I just spent time to try and put your pictures up there. Dang it. We will get that done in just a second. In terms of this level of these targeting, there's a bit of variability. I want to let you guys know that. Now, VIP are excited. I want to let you know they're excited, not because we got this line of resistance correct. Okay, we did, for the record, we got that line of resistance correct, but we've already scheduled in, guys, in the back. I've seen it on not only on BTC, but look at the red light up on the right. Value time. It's time to hit your targets. We always say, buy at support, sell at resistance, right? Trade your patterns, right? This is a pattern failure we're looking at right here. Didn't indicate in terms of the move to the upside. Make sure you know how to trade a bull pennant, right? A breakout. We talked about the need for the confirmation over the top, right? We just didn't get it. So in terms of that, we're currently picking up down below. Not a huge move, but it's huge in that. On the 4-hourly chart, you guys know. Angel Matos in the house, my man. What is up? Hello, Angel. How are you? Look at the fire in the house. What is up, brother? Boom. Very, very nice, Angel. And guys, I told him earlier on. I just sent him a quick text. Want to let y'all know he's contributed more than a Bitcoin to the community, to the Bitcoin Spike. I just think it's so cool. And Angel, you mean the world to us, brother. We're so excited to have you here. Wouldn't be the same without you. We're going to cover some key, crucial elements going on right now. We're going to see some differentials. And guys, Angel, I have to say this. I know this for a record. When we say something has broken resistance, he cares. He trades, so he knows. But guys, he's been invested in Bitcoin since $7.79. Can you imagine how many levels of resistance he's seen? Can you imagine how many levels of support he's seen? It's like it's breaking down a 0.36, right? So, in terms of that, we are well aware of that, and we appreciate that. It just, but he is. Pathfinder, shouting out to Angel. Very nice in the comments. I can't wait for you guys to hook up a little bit more when Angel has times. In terms of the charts, Pathfinder is on it. Guys, Pathfinder, he got the low on Dogecoin. I have to say that. The low on Dogecoin. Whether or not it's the low on Dogecoin, you guys know Rune has been going crazy. Guess who brought Rune to the VIP? That would be me. Boom. Last year, we brought Rune. Came from a very unique source. And of all of the VIP, who has been trading Rune, guys? I have to say, kind of off the record, on the record, Angel, I have to kind of break ice. I think I've said it a few times, maybe in kind of slight, here, there, kind of, I don't know, not real directly. But yes, Angel has been trading Rune. Boom. boom. If you guys have missed Rune, the run up, Angel didn't miss a drop of it, guys. In terms of that, just really exciting to see that. Now, it's just Angel. I can't say enough about that, brother. It's just it's hugely impressive, and you can bring. It's very interesting, guys. You can bring the information. I'll just tell you, you can bring the information. Critical level of resistance. We want this to hold a support. I just want to let you guys know that in terms of this specific feature here, as we're watching. Yes, we called this line of resistance across the top, but we want this level to hold. Ultimately, I'd like this level to hold instead of it getting too much more aggressive. I was going to tell the VIP earlier, and I was just going to comment just while I'm doing this. Essentially, who's prepared for these lower specific targets, right? That was kind of on my mind. Who would be prepared for these lower targets, right? It's in terms of, I'd say, some more conservative, right? Some more conservative, as we would look at it, potentially more conservative Fibonacci, some targets to the downside. I just wanted to make sure that you guys are prepared for kind of the ultimatum here. If we were to go to more of a macro, not exactly macro, but more of a threshold, if it were to dip down into the 23.6 on more of a macro basis, then let's say a tighter basis that we're currently operating on. You guys know, going aggressive, right? Lifting up your targets versus going more conservatively speaking. And guys, I have to tell you, this is the truth. We are the only group, I will tell you guys this, we are the only group that I know anybody who hit low. Let me shout out to AJ Crypto, longest VIP around. I have to tell you guys, in terms of that, he acquired, very nicely, he acquired a position down in the 30s on your prep for them. Great, Pathfinder, in terms of those specific lower targets. You always are. I love that about you, brother. Very cool. In terms of the group, yes, we're the only group, guys, that had on the 4-hourly chart. You don't even have to draw the line again ever. Period, guys. No one can say this. You never have to draw the line again. Okay, you know on the 4-hourly chart who was the low. Literally the pivot, literally that target on Bitcoin. And as I look at other people, start to get excited, or well, now they want to get in, now they're adding a position, now they're doing such and such. Man, guys, we creamed it. Bam. Absolute low in the market on the 4-hourly. Nobody else is coming close to that. Angel, we appreciate your what you bring to the group in terms of like $7.79. You bring the notion, the focus on lower targets, on lower prices, and we really try to put that to use here. I just know more so than anyone else. While other people are looking to get in a breakout trade, etc., guys, you're in the money. You're comfortable. You're relaxed. This was another feature here on this 4-hourly. You guys know we streamed that live. And that was a big deal as well. So hitting this potential for a take, hitting back into the 50%, you guys were just targeting low. It's just, and it does bring to surface, and it looks like Angel's got something to say, personally speaking. And Angel, I've redone a cool feature for you if and when you do choose to super chat again. It's a cool feature. I'm constantly trying to upgrade the bells and whistles on the channel. I think it makes it more fun to watch. Like we do have the Bitcoin Bull. You guys know we're the only station with the Bitcoin Bull, and I just want to tell you, the only trading group, whatever you want to say, guys. I don't want to say like station, whatever, guys. It's just we trade. Bottom line, like I'm VIP with you guys, just so you know, like I got a badge. I'm VIP. I'd like to be VIP. If you guys are not VIP, can you book a trade? We want you to learn how to book a trade, then join VIP. It's real easy. We have those rooms in the back just to let you know. Boom, in the back. Just constantly full of nice charts. Look at this chart by Pathfinder. Bam, on Doge, right into golden pocket. He's prepped for Doge. There's no wonder he hit that golden pocket. So looking at this specific feature here, let's go through. And I'm excited, guys. I have to say, I'm not excited about the breakdown, but I'm excited about the fact that we call this level of resistance. You guys know that, and it is some interaction thus far, as you would want to call this out in terms of that level of resistance. Looking at it, we've got a little bit of price action here, a couple percentage points down, not much, about $1,500, but that's a move, guys. And you'll see on the lines right now on the 4-hourly. Please go on your. Please go. Let me see what we have here. Let me see what Angel says on Rune. You guys, we're going to switch to Rune. I'm going to double screen this. I have to. Hold on one second. Let's get into, let's put Rune on the left just so we know what Angel is dealing with. I'm excited about this. Let's talk about it. I was waiting for somebody to hit the 86% on Rune because I had brought it to the group. And if you look at the overall retracement, I want to read what Angel said, but we're bringing this up on the left-hand side. Rune has been a phenomenal gainer. If you guys don't know that, I brought it to VIP in 2021. And I'm like, it's a good project. It's got some money around it. And that's the thing, maybe around it and kind of with it as we look at that natural stop point on Rune towards the top. Can it bust it? If it can do what Waves did, guys, good gosh, what Waves did, it would be unbelievable. Let's look at that target. and then I'll read what Angel just put into the framework here. Look at this perfect, boom, on the 86. You guys know we cover the 86 frequently, and it already hit it once, boom, right into it again, bam. If you will look at this percentage gain, let's look at this, guys, boom, to the upside, maxed out, 313%, boom, guys, in 30 days, 283%. Let's see what do we have from Angel. Say, personally speaking, I peppered in with Rune before this current run-up, but Rune has been and will continue to be a VIP. Boom, 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 boom. Yes, sir. You know, this is straight up, man. I imagine that Angel has peppered into about everything in the market. If you guys want to bring up a coin, if you wanted to challenge somebody on a layer 2, layer 0, if you want to get into a web 3, guys, Angel knows this market like the back of his hand, or better. And in terms of everything, just excited to see that it was just a focus for VIP in 2021. It came from a very special source. I want to shout out to old Skippy. Old Skippy is a good friend of mine, and he brought Rune to my attention. I brought it to VIP, and it was a double from that standpoint. That classic 86, as you guys see that classic 86, if you just remind yourselves in terms of like Angel at $7.79, the classic 86 is my level, the 86% retracement, boom, to the upside, right? That's exactly the level on Rune that got hit. That is that's just my level, guys, in terms of that. And if you know of it, I'll say, have you really noticed it? Have you ever used it? We use it. It's a level that we use without a doubt. And we're looking at some price action on BTC. I almost want to go over to waves on the other screen just a second, as we're looking at some negative action there on the right-hand side. And let's see, VIP. Thank you. I'm going to put thank you, Angel, for that. Boom. I appreciate that confirmation, brother. Now, it's nice to be able to bring it in 2021 with some price action, and given the retrace and the rebound, it's just been one of the most performing, I say the highest performing coins that there are. I want to shout out to AJ Crypto. And how's Waves doing, guys? How is Waves? Waves is up 16.29% today. I'm just kidding with you guys. Like, what are you supposed to say? Waves is up 16%, absolutely annihilating the market. In terms of my bottom line target on Waves, guys, which was $6.97, Waves is up 752% in, what is it, guys, in 31 days, 752%. It's up 16% now in a down market. Waves, and guys, I've been, and everyone knows, like, he keeps bringing waves to us. You know, this is the problem. Like, I kind of brought it around, along here. I brought it here for a select few people that last year that wanted to know about it. Like, this would be a good pickup, that green dotted line here. And then around in here, we started to talk about it more frequently. You guys know I focused on it. Everybody's like, London keeps focusing on waves. I don't want to trade waves. Now, bam, it is just completely taken over the market. So congrats to anybody who decided to trade waves. Bam. Since that breakout point, guys, you're up. It's 100% since that breakout. We were commenting on this specific feature last night in the VIP. Just very, very impressive. Bam, move to the upside. Waves is a solid project. I don't know if you guys have really taken a look at that. What's behind Waves? Wow, guys, it's a nicely laid out project. It's getting some much deserved price action, and I feel comfortable saying after a full review of it that it's a very, very solid project. Extremely enticing for investors, as is obvious the case now, guys. A 700% move, very impressive. One of the top moving coins, if not really the top mainstay coins, and we can challenge that and find additional ones. But looking at that, yeah, 657%. 657%. He's saying I'm funny because if I bring someone waves, they don't want to trade it, and I'm like, I could like break my arm or someone else's to get someone to trade it, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say everyone go into waves or something like that, but it has been on the radar, and it has to have been on the radar because it's been going up so much. You guys know this. It's been unstoppable. So in terms of that, but it got a little pesky in here. We're watching Bitcoin on the right hand side. Don't want to lose focus. It's probably picking up. What do you guys say on that level of resistance to support? We want that to occur. I'm going to tell you guys, in the market, we would really like Bitcoin to hold at this level. A lot of you guys are in a position. And let me reframe let's go to the 30-minute on this. Just that little bit of a choppy, as we look at this. I'd say bull pennant, move to the upside with a consolidation. Normally they catch in what, guys? They catch in a bull flag. So this is going to be the crucial element here, is do we catch in a bull flag here? That would be a nicer pattern for the bulls to work with. I just tell you, it would be a nicer pattern. Bottom line, we noticed a bit of an issue earlier on. I don't know that I got it to the VIP. You guys know we've been struggling with wedges. Okay, now wedges, I tell you guys, this year if you're in a bull run like Rune or something else, wedge, it's over, guys. It is over. Okay, in terms of, I mean, it's just been able to conquer anything in terms of that. Same with, saying now that looks just like literally waves is going off the screen. Don't you guys love when you take a power nap or something like that on the left-hand side? If you take a power nap with something, you guys know this. You'll take a power nap and you go to sleep. It's something just a quick rest, right? And boom, your price is off the screen. That is the best feeling in the world when you wake up and the price is literally off the screen. It's just nice. You guys know that. So we look forward to those moments when they happen. They're rare, but they run in spurts. You guys know that. It'll be 2 or 3 weeks in a row, and it's like, wait, we've had like 5 of them go up off the screen. Like, I need to take another nap as you go back to sleep. I mean, this is working, right? But no, when we look at this, I guess the framework that had me a little concerned today, and it wasn't just on BTC, in terms of a potential breakdown, and we'll see if we can hold that specific line there, was this specific element that if we had aligned those challenges and the throw up over, you guys know, the throw up over this specific channel. I just noticed this today. Didn't want to be like a big spoil sport. We talked about the pickup possibility or the potential for a bull flag. What would be interesting, and I went over this with just a casual conversation. Went to go pick up some stogies, pick up some Cohiba Blacks earlier today. In terms of this line of support, I let someone know. I was like, and by the way, congratulations to anyone who's trading, who has been trading waves. And I do want to mention that I did bring this specific pattern up in the back. I do believe that I brought that up in the back. Let's look real quickly. Did I bring that up to you guys in the back? If not, I was driving, didn't get it in, but I should have got that to you guys in the back. Let's see. That is Rune. There we go. Bam. Nice. We got waves on the breakout. Way to go, guys. Boom. Imperfect, defects noted, etc. It's just been unstoppable. Way to go, VIP. That is awesome. You guys had that information in the back before. Bam. This move up tonight of 15, 16%. So bam, very nicely done in the back. You guys had first look at that. Glad you did before we started streaming. And I'll put Angel. You're funny too. Let me put this funny. This in here. You're funny too. I'm gonna say Rune. We have to say Rune. It's just been a great coin to trade. Rune, waves. What else has been good? Luna. And it's just been et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's just been nice, right? So when we look at that, and I'll put Bitcoin. Bam. So looking at this specific framework here, this line of resistance, line of support, at some point, I just tell you guys real quickly, and it's nice to have brought you guys that, at least the framework, if you wanted to trade a 15% trade, bam, to the upside. We've been following waves. I've been following that throughout the entirety of its, essentially since it started, I'll say this, since it started to challenge the framework here, we really started to look at it because it looked like it was just powering through each and every potential, I'd say, hurdle that you threw at it. You guys know that it was nothing that was going to stop it. It was one of those movers, and you would see some defects in the patterning, which sometimes we see, i.e. Bitcoin, etc. But the coins that can just conquer that and lay waste and put on the green on the screen, that's what we like to focus on, right? Because we don't like to be too particular. You guys know that. It's no fun to just sit there all day and be like, well, there's a slight angle to this and a slight angle to that. I mean, really, in a bull run, like with a coin that's on like waves with a 700% run, it's really, to the advantage of the traders if it can really pick up and waylace to, not TA altogether, but if it can overcome the imperfections, where you get really, really focused on, and not that it's, not that there's anything wrong with the perfection, the really fine-tuned element of like BTC, as we get into the technicals of BTC, a lot of times that will be the framework right there. For anyone who's tuning in, just to let you know, VIP is our top trading group. I want to let you know that waves, we covered that in the back before the launch today. It is up in a very red market. This is London, former financial professional, Harvard Business School, Duke University. You guys know, not financial advice, okay? So I am excited in terms of the overall framework of the channel, in terms of the VIP. Like, this guy can't slow down. Well, we have 200 coins to talk about, and if you guys would like to talk about 200 coins, we can do that for the next hour and a half, right? No, we're not going to do that. We like crypto. It moves at a lightning speed pace, and we're just not going to apologize about ripping into the market. I'm not going to slow down unless we've been on stream for 2 or 3 hours, and then we'll slow down a little bit maybe, guys, okay? So in terms of this, and you guys get a kick out of that. Can you imagine just monotony all day long? Ain't going to have it. We got to attack this market. We got to figure out what's moving, what's about to move, like waves, bam. And we've covered a lot of the waves moves in the back. Rune, I don't know. I didn't get a whole lot of input from Rune. Got some feedback from Angel on that, and let's see what we got. Over a decade later, BTC, the creator, the original, the leader of the pack, continues to dictate the market. Ba-boom. Yes, sir. And that is the truth. Absolutely. Bitcoin is boss. You guys know that. And what's interesting is, coming from Angel, and you guys know this as well, just in terms of your positions, a lot of time people are comfortable putting 200,000 or 300,000, or even maybe 2-3 million, or even if it's 2-3 grand, right, in Bitcoin versus maybe an altcoin. It carries a heavier Luna, Dot, Rune, Matic, She, boom, absolutely, all of them. All of those are key, crucial coins in 2022. We're looking forward to continuing to cover those, and I don't know. Maybe I need a special tagline. If I send you guys something early like waves or something like that, and you guys don't want to trade it, maybe I should come up with something special. Huh? Maybe I should do something special. I don't know. It's just I get the feeling that people either tell me I'll show them a coin. They're either interested or uninterested, and when people are uninterested, I'm just like, okay, well, that's not going to fly, right? If I don't want people to feel like they're forced to trade anything. I like people to trade what they like to trade, right? And each of these coins has its own utility, dev team, management, etc., or at least the componentry for that. So it's important. As we look at the pickup here, down about 1% here. Okay, have fallen out of the specific wedge formation. Let's go into on BTC this lower time frame. See if we can pick up on this specific, as I was discussing earlier. We have to go into the 5-minute or maybe even the 1 minute to capture, and it's not much of a drop, guys. You guys know that it's not much of a drop, but to capture, let's just go through this in terms of it. It's been difficult. You guys know this. It's been difficult because the lower time frames have been capturing all of the price action, but you guys know you can barely fit that on your screen sometimes, right? You can't even really fit the lowest time frame on your screen. It gets to the point where trade with dot at 31. You're in a trade for dot at 31. You can't say that, Angel. You are in a trade at dot at 31, but at the same time, I also gave you the lowest targets on dot. So you did compound down at lower levels. That's the whole idea, Angel. You're not holding, you're trading. There's a big difference. Angel likes dot a lot, but I don't feel sorry for him. We painted the floor with dot. Personally speaking to all, Angel says currently still in a trade with dot at 31. And we painted the floor. Here we go. The floor with dot bottom hit. I gotta say that. Bam. He knows that. You cover your upside. Don't let Angel get to you too much. He's just gonna continually remind everybody, and it's good to remind people, because if he had an entry at 31, which he did, okay, I'm not doubting that at all, but do understand, if he had the entry at 31 on dot, what was the fix? Compounding down. He is Mr. Double Down. So don't let him get to you too much. He's probably playing with somebody, maybe me, I'm not sure, in terms of dot, because we scheduled in with a triple down into the very bottom level of dot. I mean, that was in terms of the targeting. That was nice, Angel. You got to admit that was nice. And VIP were aware of that. We brought that bull flag breakout. That was a nice gain on that bull flag from on dot. It wasn't erratic like waves or Rune, but it did get up and go as we watch waves just lay waste to the market, guys. I'm really excited. Anyone who's on leverage trade right now on waves, way to go, guys. Way to go. So in terms of the pickup, you guys know, and I'm noting I'm noting the difficulties. The difficulties. There we go. I can get that out. In terms of a typical or standard pennant formation, you guys know, strong move to the upside. Let's just cover this real quickly for BTC. Strong move to the upside. Consolidation. Bam. Resistance. Bam. Support. Bam. Resistance. Bam. Support. We failed to get up and out. I covered that in the video. You guys make sure you have your alerts on. And we are welcoming anybody who is thinking of joining VIP. We had a few guys in the last couple of days. OC was one. I think Mohammed was another guy, or Abdullah. You guys are welcome to join VIP. We cannot wait to have you in the back. We're having a good time trading. Shout out to Craig. Shout out to everybody. I had your pictures. Where are your pictures? This is just not good. Where are your pictures? Hold on one second. Let me see what happened. I put all your pictures up here. I put the Doge pictures. I put all the pictures. Widget hydration. 0 widget show duration. I just don't know what the heck is going on with this. I don't know where they went. Let me see if I can pull these back up. I have your pictures there to show everybody. Angel's on top. I wanted to put all your pictures on there. Let me see. 17 seconds. I don't know what this is. Let me see. I have a few gadgets to work with here. Banner height, bounce in, transparent. Let me see if I could. I don't know. Let me see. Wiggle. Let me see if I can do this a little differently. Let me see if that will pop up here. What is this doing? We need to get this figured out, huh? Where is the, let's see. Well, it just doesn't want to show. I'm going to have to do some testing with your pictures because I have your pictures set up ready to go next to the Ferrari emblem down there. And it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't want to do it right now. So I will have to reboot the system there and make sure that you guys get your the pictures up. I want you guys with your pictures up. I'll go through everybody in a minute here in terms of photos, etc. But yeah, I got the photos up and ready. So I want to see those rolling. Let's see what we got. Got in a bit late, says Pathfinder on Waves and Dot. Thanks for bringing them up. Hey, Pathfinder got into on and Waves. Do some alert so it will be more prominent. Hey, there we go. I could do some alert. Yeah, we could do that. No problem. No problem in terms of that. That's right on target. That's good. Good man. Because I know you guys may be busy. But you're watching the market as well. So to the extent that I don't know. I guess I assume I look at the patterns more frequently. I look at the patterns. I only try and post mostly either what would I say in terms of the coins that are favored right in the back in terms of you guys, in terms of your preferences to trade already, or the coins that are really moving, right? And I try and focus on those and the ones that could get up and move soon, like when Harmony 1 gets going, it's pretty ruthless. It can scream up 30% in a day. You guys know that, so I keep that on standby. I know a lot of you like Matic, like what else we got? Matic. Like I'll bring up Dusk. It had some patterning. It popped for about 10-15%. I'll bring up something with either good patterning or it has a history of really screaming in terms of price action. That's kind of my threshold. So it's either I know you like it, or it's got real good patterning, or it's screaming with price action. So I will try and do the alert boxes there. Yeah, so many coins as sometimes pick a good one, but not the best one. Yeah, it's always it's really a struggle, and what the struggle is for the most part. As we look at this, I don't want to. The one thing I'll bring up on BTC real quickly, and this will apply to everything. And Angel, you've been experiencing this on Rune recently in terms of the patterning, real light patterning, real micro patterns continuing to push. It's almost like we are in what would you call it? We're in a little bit different dynamic in the market right now, where the smaller patterns are playing. It's not a real, it's not a really strongly indicated long-term, I'd say, strategy for you to use, or long-term, condition to get used to, is micro patterns playing all the time. We like macro patterns, to tell you the truth. The bigger the pattern, typically the bigger the move. As we would look at the potential for this specific, preceding, like a move to the upside with this downward sloping channel here on BTC, we would think that's a nice hefty bull flag to get up and out. The more micro patterns that tend to play, it's just, it's indicative that like BTC or whatever else we may be looking at is just on a run. So that's it's welcome. It's just rare, okay? And the patterning has been, as you guys know, the smaller patterns typically have been something that will be a little bit catchy, right? So we are seeing BTC pick up in line with this specified notion of the bull flag. So the preference is, first of all, the bull pennant, right? The symmetrical consolidation, period, bar none. We want that symmetrical consolidation. We want it to go buyers push up and let's get out of here. Preceding level, you guys know, bam, that's what happened in the preceding level. We were looking for that. We got that on BTC, just so that you understand in terms of the preference for your own trading, etc., is going to be that specific bull pennant. When I entered DOT, traded, I already had a few bags, $9.96, nice, $10.76, but honestly, I'm not trading those. Very good. Personally speaking, I missed Waves and Ape. Ape was fun to the upside, and then it got kind of aggressive on the downside. Shout out to Freddie. Freddie caught it at the golden pocket, traded it back up. In terms of Ape, it's been fun this year. We've had a few coins that have really taken off. Rebel Robots took everybody by surprise, period. If everybody missed Rebel Robots, no big deal. We got into it about, halfway up in terms of looking at it. Yeah, Luna's setting new all-time highs. And it's difficult with brand new coins because sometimes you're spreading. It's like, should I just spread out a ton of cash over all these, but, maybe put $1,000 or $5,000 or 10, whatever it may be, or 500, who knows, in all of the new coins and see which one takes off and kind of take the, it's almost like Russian roulette though with it. You look at it, it's like, that's not really, it can work out if the startups are running, if they're already proven, and yes, they're running, right? To the extent that they're not running yet, it becomes kind of a difficult equation to work out. But if you're in a hot bull market and they're all running, yeah, it's time to roll. So yeah, Luna has hit all-time high. Let's go to Luna real quickly as we watch this specific level of resistance, that top level of resistance on the candle wicks, right? That is playing also on the 1 hourly. Please take a look at the 1 hourly. This is kind of an important notion right here, that on the 1 hourly, if you line out your specific let's say your target on the level of resistance, if you would look at that, we are getting, I'd say, more than frustrated. Now, the exact line that we frustrated at would be on the candle wicks. 2022. Check your candle wicks, guys. In terms of the hourly, though, that's a big. This is a big level on the hourly. I want to let you know this needs to be beaten, right? Without a doubt. As we look at the framework here on the 4 hourly, let's compare that hourly with the 4 hourly and see where we're at. The 4 hourly still gives us room. A lot of variation, guys. In 2022, a lot of variation, right? Angel shout out to Pathfinder, to Slim. Slim, where you at? Homeboy, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing good. Let's look at we can look at Luna on the right hand side as we look at it, just to cover again amidst the variability. We could the variability in 2022 has been strong. You guys know that. But the possibility for the pickup here in terms of your preference for your pattern framework, we prefer the bull pennant. Consolidates typically less time. All right, the pennant will push or fail oftentimes to a flag formation. So the first order of business is, if we're going to pattern, if we need to pattern instead of just a standard zigzag, etc., we would look for a bull pennant. You can just see how from the bull pennant here, bam, that bull pennant, to the specific support to resistance line of the specific bull flag, from the pennant to bull flag, we just spend more time in the bull flag, right? And it's also indicative, I'll say this, it's also indicative, instead of these miniature bull pennants to the upside, the flag is indicative of one thing, and please pay attention to this. The flag is indicative of the fact that we have a specific channel formation going to the upside. Now, that can be a good sign, but it can also be a limiting factor. If you trade a lot, you can understand a really solidly recognized. Let me get back to this on the side screen real quickly here. 1 second here. Okay, there we go. The specific channel framework, because you guys trade a lot and you understand this, a channel framework can be a very limiting factor as you go up if the line of resistance is respected to the extent, i.e. a channel framework going up, whatever that channel framework may be, going up, any deviation outside of that channel framework can really cost the traders in terms of upside total potential as the buyers want to reestablish, I'd say, the move back in line with the original level of support. It can be a limiting governing function of the price action, and I bring that up because to the extent that we formulate a bull flag in a channel and that bull flag is the width of the channel, then our preference again is a short consolidation in the form of a bull pennant and just rapid moves to the upside. Forget about the channel framework. Forget about the support resistance. Let's just roll. Let's go. Let's get aggressive with the price action. So a lot of times, I didn't draw it out perfectly, but a lot of times when you get into a run to the upside and you get into a downward sloping channel and you get into a repeat of this specific flag framework to the upside, all you're doing is formulating a channel, right? And when you're doing that, it isn't bad because you're going up, right? But at the same time, this level of, not perfectly drawn, but you guys understand that level of, let me just tuck these in here, right, bam, and get this in a little bit tighter here. In terms of that, it can just operate as a governing function on the price, and we don't always want to see that. We'd like to see it just get aggressive and just power up, right? When you guys just know when and you can always think of that line of resistance clearly. That's I'm not gonna say we're gonna do away with the lines of resistance, but at the same time, we just want to be aware of the fact that the bull pennant is preferred. Less time consolidating, meaning also understand, meaning it's pushing less laterally, Okay, so it is more aggressive. A lot of accelerating trends. That's the preference, right? An accelerating trend. Not to be confused with in certain dynamics, you may refer to an accelerating trend. In addition, you may exclude or include a specific throw over this line of resistance. Okay, a throw over, technically a throw over would be a throw over this line of resistance. The expectation would be a capitulation at least back to this line of support. Okay, and that's where the channel framework comes in very, very distinctly negatively, to tell you the truth, in terms of this specific previous line of resistance. Just the expectation to throw over, right, conquering that level of resistance, and the expectation of hitting this line of support again. I just let you know. That's another reason why we prefer just another bull pennant and bam, move to the upside, not to go back with this whole throw over notion, right? That throw over can cost a lot of money if you're not ready for it. So certain industries may use an accelerating trend instead of a throw over. They may be combined, or they may be kind of mutually exclusive. So in terms of charts, etc., maybe commodities, certain things like that, you may get into real aggressive style. And we're not going to talk about commodities. How about that? Let's not do that. Let's talk about crypto. In terms of the bull flag that's currently forming, there are just orders here, and I had a talk with someone today just while I was having a stogie, and my Cohiba Black, and I appreciate the opportunity for me to be able to talk about a Cohiba on here. Freedom of speech, at least enough. I have to talk about my Cohibas. It's part of me. That's what I do. I like Cohibas. In terms of this, I say that we've had some interesting times with the nature of what can or couldn't be said on the station in the past. I'm like, okay, I just so you guys know, while we're watching that bull flag pick up potentially on BTC, I had a discussion with one of the guys at YouTube, and I'm like, can I smoke a cigar on the screen? Can I do that as part of is that okay? And they're like, no, we don't think you should. I'm like, why? Well, in case any families or children are watching it, probably it's not going to be good for them. I'm like, it's not made for children. They're like, well, we wouldn't do it. They gave me such a hard time on YouTube. I'm like, there are cigar stations. There are entire stations of people smoking cigars. There are cigar tutorials. There's pick your own cigar, grow your own cigar, smoke your own cigar. And finally, they're like, well, okay, you can go ahead and do it. I'm like, good gosh. So you guys, you think, I don't know if you knew half of it. That's just a little portion of it. But yes, I like to smoke Cohibas. But yes, when I went there early today, smoke Cohiba, I pointed this out to someone who was real aggressive, looking, they had to get in this. They just had to. I'm like, well, there's a breakout procedure for that, without getting into details. It just made me really appreciate this group. I want to let you guys know that without a doubt. And if you guys ever hear, well, I was talking to such and such or doing something or something, otherwise, just understand one thing. It makes me appreciate this group so much more. So there's two ways you guys could take this. Like, well, London's talking with other people or this. No, guys, when I discuss things with outsiders, with other people, it makes me appreciate this group. You guys have no idea, and I mean that. So, Angel, if you ever hear of me talking with another investor or something like that, or Pathfinder, or AJ or anybody, understand. I'll sit there and I'm like, I am so thankful that we have VIP. I am while I'm talking. And it shocks me that the other individual, after I explain we have such an incredible trading group, they never say, well, I'd like to join. And I'm like, it's just, and they want the quick answer. They don't want to, anything else that comes with it for the most part. And you guys know that. It's the quick, easy, 10-second, 20-second easy answer, or I'm out of here. And I'm like, that's not what it's about, man. You're gonna be in that chair trading. That's the other thing is like, you can just raise your eyebrows at something and just say it or not, but like, yeah, you're gonna be in that chair trading a lot. You want to trade, you're gonna be in that chair quite a bit, kid. Whoever you may be talking to. So, just for the record, if I ever do speak of the fact, yeah, they don't draw fibs at all. They don't know patterns. They don't know, and it's like, yeah, I need to look into that. Yeah, I'll do this and I'll do that. And I'm like, man, you gotta order the book and let it dust up on your bookshelf or something like that. It's just like, if someone told me that there's a book or there's something to give me a real advantage in the market, and that's it, man. Just point. Just do it. I'll order it yesterday. What can I do? Can I go get it in a bookstore now, or do I? Whether it not be any resource, right? Any resource to help you beat the market. That's what we're geared towards. That's VIP. That's what we do. Like that. That's why we're the #1 traders, guys. It's just that's what we focus on. And I'll just reiterate: while the rest of the market literally is having conniption fits trying to get in on breakouts, man, it may not seem that exciting for people who aren't tuned in all the time because, like, yeah, you guys want to get in where? Okay. Okay. You want to go ahead and do that? All right. Yeah, that would make sense if you didn't hit your targets. right? So always the preferable in terms of hitting those targets, scaling in, compounding down, covering any upside position, of course, willing to play any breakout. Like if we just look at this within this these top formations here, you guys just see I brought up the bull flag. It's worth talking about here towards the top in terms of a flag failure at the top, right? An aggressive flag failure. You guys got that in terms of this preceding zone. We even played this micro flag, which failed along the top portion of this specific flag. If you guys remember that, in terms of this specific move here, I want to shout out to anybody who's watching first time. Please hit the like button if you guys are just kind of showing up. Appreciate that. But the move to the upside, flag failure, right? This was not even a pattern formation. This was if you guys remember, this was a clear fan. Very interesting. Just an absolute reversal. I mean, 100% aggressive reversal. You guys remember that one? And nobody wants to cover a fan. It's like, what's a fan? But we covered it. You guys know that. And it was just bam to the downside. So a pattern failure, pattern success, like a completed pattern, bam to the upside. This was just some extreme volatility in terms of those, I say in terms of that specific ascending triangle, ascending triangle, ascending triangle, either on the lines or on the candle wicks. You guys know that. Big deal in terms of those candle wicks in 2022. We want to check them. So much volatility. It's been a blast to trade. This framework has come together really in terms of this channel formation as a result of multiple wedges at multiple angles. I'll say that. It's been strong through the residual of it, or through this, I say the residual, not the after the incipiency of it. And it did catch on that primary, or on that first, let's say on that first. Let me go ahead and lock this in. I'm going to lock down that this specific formation here. I'm going to lock down this channel formation here. And you guys know these are not necessarily the popular I say videos for me to do. Sometimes I'll point out a resistance, and still in concert with that resistance, noting the bullish feature, but I'm always going to talk about the full scope and gamut of the technicals in play. One thing I need to address with VIP, and I've been kind of addressing it a bit, in terms of the, let's just talk about, we want this to hold on the 4 hourly. Are we within thresholds? We are on 4 hourly. 1 hourly, we've capitulated, guys, on that 1 hourly. Let's check that again and see on that 1 hourly. Are we below? Yeah, we're below the actual threshold on the specific pivots here, okay, across the top. We are really beyond challenge within the framework of this 1 hourly. Definitely within and underneath threshold on the actual candle wicks, which would be the lowest time frame. As we look at the lowest time frame, that's what that channel formation, this specific channel formation here, that's what this is geared towards. As I would look at, just to highlight this for you, let me just, that specific channel formation, okay, just a real crucial feature, very technically oriented, okay? We can talk about the underpinnings of it. And the one thing I wanted to talk about, I tried to cut a quick video and didn't get a really good take on it, just to let you know. I wanted it to be really accurate, so it's good I can slow down just a minute and talk about it. But the specified the nature and degree of the number of differentiated patterns that there are. Guys, we've been consolidating for a good period of time. We have so many patterns within patterns. You guys need to understand that. Yes, we have macro features. If we wanted to go macro, real easy, no problem. Super easy. Macro feature on the weekly. Bam. The weekly does it. That's it. That's the ball game. That's as easy gets. You guys know that. So if we're just looking for one pattern, no problem. Carry this up, amplitude, bam, and we achieved our target. We're done with the ball game, right? No problem. As we go into, however, the lower time frames, this is real nice and smooth. This is easy stuff here. In terms of this specific pattern framework on the weekly, we have one discussion. That's it. We're up and out, guys. That's it. We've hit our target and everything's good. Right? No problem. Now, as we go to the different time frames, we start to see different formulations. Okay, we start to see different formulations in addition to this specified framework of the symmetrical triangulation. If we just hold this pattern here, right? If we just hold that pattern and go to the lower time frames, the aspect that has been challenging to the traders right now, and I'll tell you guys, there may be a one-stop shop, in terms of one size fits all for the market right now. To the extent there is, it may be the trader who wants just one trade. I get in, I get out, or a trader with preference. You may find a trader with preference who says, well, I really like trading descending triangles. That's kind of my deal. I like to trade a descending triangle. That's just it. Something else may have happened as well, but I want to trade the descending triangle, right? So as you look at the different patterns that are in play, I just want to encourage you and to kind of inform you like the descending triangle would give us an up and out indicated from the threshold of this level of resistance. So it's indicated, it's kind of the solution to the overall framework of the channel formation. Is it something we want to continually necessarily talk about? Well, it's a specific upside target, right? It is a specific pattern. If someone likes to trade descending triangles, well, go for it. We have to understand the complexity within which we are looking at the lower time frames. BTC currently off only about 0.67%, about 47,126. 47,126. Very nice, guys. Very nice price action from the low target to pick up. Nobody has been focusing on lower targets, guys. 33,000. What is this on the 4 hourly? This 33,629 was our specific target. Okay, the 50% did pick up twice really well here in this zone. But as we would talk about the different, I'd say the different patterns in play on the different time frames. That's what I want to discuss. 1 second. Let me read in here what we have from Angel. Hey, Angel sent me a text. Let me check on that real quickly. Boom, and I got it. Let me see what I got. Stable of non-Bitcoin cryptocurrencies. Hey, thought this might help. VIPs, publish it if you wish. Very good, huh? Measuring momentum. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just got a nice text from Angel. 10-day momentum. Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. This is I've gone back on my notes as why I actually invested in my stable of non-Bitcoin cryptocurrencies. Value. Thought this might help VIPs publish if you wish. That's excellent. Thank you for that. I will definitely get that over to I will get that to a feature where I can publish that to VIP so we can look at that. Just it's a what we say, just it's Angel's notes on why he originally started to invest in altcoins as opposed to Bitcoin. So that is a key feature as we would look at as we would look at his experience. I want to bring that to you guys. Can I bring up Bitcoin Spike? If I can bring this up, I can get into publishing that to everybody. Give me 2 seconds while I try and work out the technicals here. And let me see if I could bring this up somehow. Let me send this to, there we go. All right, I got it. Bam. Okay, very good. Now I have that on the screen. Let me get back into the chats with you guys. And let me hit this. Bam. There we go. Should be back on. I appreciate that, Angel. Yeah, I will share that in just a few moments. And thank you so much. Boom. Get that to you. Boom. In terms of the framework, we're discussing the multitude of patterns in play, right? We have the macro. Easy stuff, guys. The macro is easy, right? That's no problem. Now we have I'm going to say the additionals for those who want to gain more potential value, right? It's the ones who want to push the envelope a little bit more. In terms of, well, now we have a macro, I'd say a larger framework of a like on the weekly we had that, and this is where we get into patterns within patterns. In terms of, let's say that weekly pattern framework of the symmetrical triangulation, the coil, then we have this externalized coil. We spent weeks, really I think weeks looking at this specific framework, at least a week plus. You guys know that as we were marching up this specific level. We kind of forgot about it, did away with the specific, let's talk about this, the specific descending triangle. We kind of did away with that. Yes, it would indicate a move up and above this threshold line of resistance, this channel framework. But as we look at this, the important thing is for you all to remember, and for all of us to remember in the context of what we're looking at now, because it seems like, well, we're on another pattern. Well, that's no fun. We're on another pattern. That's it's like, stay consistent, London. Come on, VIP, stay consistent, right? We need to be consistent here. That's inconsistent. You can't have 2 or 3 different patterns. You can't just all of a sudden say we're in a channel framework with an upside potential. Let's say an upside potential of 60,000. Just don't go there. Well, the reason that we go there is the following, okay? And it's a push on the upside target. I'm trying to be as aggressive as possible, just between you guys and me, okay, in terms of that upside target that I released today. And I'll tell you that right now, okay? And I tell that to VIP, period. You guys know that. That's an upside push in terms of that upside target. Glad you guys are here, right? As I would look at this framework, we're not doing anything in terms of the specific, and you guys get where we're going right now. Within the framework of any symmetrical triangle, one of the primary targets that you're going to have with a symmetrical triangle is, okay, let me just do this with a white line. And you guys know this. Angel just brought me up some information from New York Institute of Finance. What's up, my man? Love that. Love that. You're going to get that to VIP. We'll get that to the stream in 2 seconds here. In terms of this specific triangulation, move to the downside. Bam. Resistance, support. You got support, resistance, boom, up and out. Now, I will note for the record, because I want us to focus on this in the future and currently, okay, with a symmetrical triangle, we have preferences, okay? We have preferences to the extent that we would prefer, okay? Let me go ahead and put this on in terms of the fib wedge. We would prefer, I'm going to do this wrong every time. We would prefer to have this, there we go, I got it right, this specific wedge, okay? We would prefer to have, and it's called a Fibonacci wedge, but it fits within the framework of the triangulation. We would really prefer the breakout to be like up in this zone. I'm just telling you, preferring it to be up and around that 38.2 would be really nice. From the 50 to the 38.2 on into the 38.2 a bit on the Fibonacci. There's a reason for this. You guys can look in the framework of your pattern development. What's really preferable? So we broke out of this kind of early. Okay, you guys know that. We prefer the sweet spot like right in this area, just a bit early, right? So it's inviting. I want to let you know it's inviting just a touch because we didn't really push a little bit further. I mean, it would have been nice to have another hit down here. We precluded that. We got out up out and early with another pattern, to mind the entirety of it with another pattern. We did not complete another hit down to the level of support. Right, and some of these hits, you guys know, this was warfare, right? That was actual warfare injected in and upon the markets, right? That was a warfare event getting us down to here. To the extent that that was unnatural, we may have formulated something differently aside from this symmetrical triangulation. So to the extent that this was unnatural, we may have a bit of unnatural patterning in the framework of the interior of this. What did formulate as a symmetrical triangulation? That was the warfare drop right here. Bam! You guys know that with Ukraine, Russia. So we did not capitulate again down to that level of support. Would have been nice in terms of the framework of the expectations of a standardized. You guys can read about the golden pocket. You can read about the structural framework of a symmetrical triangle. I bring it up because it brings a different dynamic to this specific symmetrical triangulation. It's not every day that you're going to trade a symmetrical triangulation with a descending triangle inside, a flat bottom support and a descending line of resistance. That's clearly, if you guys remember that, it had the original, I mean, look at the confirmation on that, just wham. And you guys know we had that additional kind of hidden level of resistance there and above, which was actually the threshold event where we formulated that specific first bull flag right along the exterior, if you guys remember that, right along the exterior of that line of resistance. So it has been hugely relevant. Right? And I just bring this up for the VIP. I bring it up for Angel as well, because if you tune into a different video and a different video, let's say tomorrow, a different one the next day, you'll say, well, why is London talking about another pattern? Right? Part of it is being succinct. Part of it is being direct on point with the most incoming, the most incoming line of resistance to framework things. You know, and I will assume to a degree, pardon, that you guys do know, and I know that you know, in terms of a symmetrical triangulation. I know that you know that the framework for the bottom line support, one of the top side targets for any symmetrical triangulation, which the market is not paying attention to, guys. The market is not paying attention to this at all. All right, most people are talking about that I know of, like I'd say flat round numbers in terms of let's see, did I hear value? Yep. In terms of the framework here that we're looking at, let me go ahead and respond to Angel. Boom, give you the trophy, brother. It's looking at the level of support resistance. One of the key features of the symmetrical triangulation. So when I bring up a video, guys, they're not necessarily cut for everybody. I'll just tell you that. I don't spend a lot of time. If I'm going to clarify something after it, I will, and I'm not discounting anything, but I want to let you guys know the VIP are well aware, extremely well aware of a carry-up function of a support to the resistance. Without a doubt, on any symmetrical triangulation, whether or not it be in the form of a continuation pattern, right? And I'm saying it in the form of a continuation pattern where to continue to the downside. You betcha, guys. You betcha without a doubt. If the price were continuing to the downside, you betcha. VIP immediately would be bringing this down to the preceding pivot here to see if this is going to hold as the final target for the downward continuation. Without a doubt, guys. So when we're talking and discussing right now about what seems to be a new pattern in play, technically speaking, when we're raising, okay, and it bears repeating, it bears us going through this because it clarifies our own position on it, because we have a lot of patterns in play, understandably, maybe due to the war event, etc. But due to this line of support being brought up and that being a key feature and target, I'm talking about for completion of the move. Okay, not the full amplitude move, this and that, everything up and above. No, for a full completion move, this can be the entirety of the triangulation period. That's it. Bottom line, sayonara, that's it. They can play exactly like that. That's one of the options that the traders can take in the market period. So yes, we like the upside target. It's a bigger move. But as we look at that, bringing that bottom side support up to the top level creates this channel. So when I discuss the channel framework right now, when I discuss that with you all, I know for a fact, excuse me, let me pull this side screen up. I know for a fact that, guys, that the VIP are already harnessed into the fact that, of course, there's a channel framework here. I mean, of course there is, because there's a symmetrical triangle. Right? So we don't always, when I present the information to you, if you feel like, well, London's skipping around here or skipping around there, no, I just know that you can flip from page XYZ to page XYZ, just mentally, that you understand the tactics involved, and that this is not a sporadic event for anybody. If I send you a 2 or 3 minute update, just know a lot of times I know that you're going to fill in the blanks. Fair enough, right? I know that you're all aware of this, and to the extent the market is not aware of this on the entirety, I doubt the majority of retail traders are aware of this. I know they're not. It's some specialized information that puts this at the top in terms of that being the completion move. That's it. That's the target. That can be it, right? So no one else on the retail end is going to pay attention to this stuff, guys. But it is the framework of TA. It is solidly expressed. It is a fundamental of technical analysis from the top of the top, guys, in terms of the expression of that. So when I do omit things, just know sometimes if you feel like I'm off base, maybe try and stretch it one further degree past, make that next jump in or step in your own strategy, in your own logic in terms of the TA. And I think you'll find that there's a reason why I focus just on this to the entirety of the community, etc. And while the move, and I'll go ahead and state this for the record now, while the move of the entirety of this channel would be a little bit not super natural, it would be phenomenal, right? It would, I can't even say it would be phenomenal. It wouldn't be phenomenal. It would be, you guys know, with the framework herein being a bit, out of the norm. We've had some external influences on the market with the war effect, etc. Kind of a clean pickup into a descending triangle. This could be the main move, period, guys. This specific channel framework that we're looking at right now is as well indicated as the symmetrical triangulation. Let's say the one that is expressed beyond the weekly. The weekly is a clean pattern, guys. That's a clean pattern. That is as clean as you would want in terms of pattern formation. We don't really like it. I'll tell you that. None of us really like it because it's not that big of a move, right? When you look at it, it's like, well, we could do more than that. We've been waiting 100 days for the retrace, right? I know it's on the 100 moving average, weekly moving average. Okay, I know this and that, but I mean, come on, we've been waiting for 100 days. We're ready to trade. To the extent that your altcoins are picking up in the entirety of this, that some other coins need some more time to maybe mature, even like your Dogecoin, like your SHIB, like some other community-based coins, I say, with some real utility coming their way, Shiba Swap, etc. Even Luna, you wouldn't think of Luna needing some time to mature. Oh yeah, big time. It's well on its way, but dealing with issues from a I say into a Bitcoin acquisition mode. That is a level of maturity for Luna in terms of its recent step into the foray of BTC acquisition. That's hefty stuff, guys. So in terms of the time that it's taking BTC, the one thing I'll remind you as we look at a pattern like this, and aside from the clarity on the weekly, to the extent that it is a bit complicated in terms of the lower time frames. What would we say? I would just invite you guys to use the full foray of your strategy and understand how this specific channel framework fits into the dynamic of the overall symmetrical triangulation, and understand for a matter of fact that this specific channel framework, while indicated by this specific larger framework of the symmetrical triangle, this specific channel formation here could stand on its own separate and apart from the triangulation. It just could. Okay, any specific channel framework in terms of a measured move, we see these all the time. The market doesn't like to pay attention to them, but they can play. To the extent I would say it would be phenomenal, very, very rare for it to play. We see it play way too many times. We carry over channel frameworks all the time. You guys know that. We consistently on charts are doing something along the lines of this. Let me just do this real quickly. But with frequency, we are doing things like this. Boom. There we go. Frequently, we are doing things like this, right? Establishing a range function with a carry up function. It's just, it is with frequency that we are doing that type of work. So the solution to all of this, in terms of a huge upside target, I want to put the line in Vegas, and by the next 6 weeks, it's going to be at a target X. Bam. We are plugged into the price action 24/7. You guys know that. So this is kind of the solution as we work our way up in price targeting, etc., like calling this specific bull flag as a fallout procedure or as kind of a catch for any specific I say bull pennant for failure, right? We know, you guys VIP know this, right? It is the catch feature for a failed bull pennant, right? That may seem like magic to other people who don't trade a lot. For us, it's very, very ordinary. It's literally the threshold of what we commonly understand to be to be tradable, right? It just happens in the market so much. So I cover the gamut of the patterns to bring you into the understanding of the specific, without over speaking on it, but the specific channel framework, understanding where that channel comes from, the carry up of the support to the resistance, right? Bam, bam, and really, and this is the interesting thing about it, guys, and we can state this, I'd say, which further instills the fact that it could stand on its own, is the fact that within the symmetrical triangulation, we do have this ascending line here. You guys see, we do have that ascension. We have this mid-level hitch here, or a lower high here, which gives it that top-level framework, which it's a bit, it's not standard of the run. It's not a flashcard. It's not like a flashcard for TA. What is this pattern? What is this pattern? It's not like, what's the height of this, or what's the target of this. It's beyond the flashcard understanding of TA, without a doubt. But it's clearly understood by VIP in the context. It requires I'd say that next level of thinking. So yeah, I think we've covered that, but I just wanted to go through with you guys why I'm not always, necessarily talking about let's say the triangulation. Let's talk about also, anytime I have the opportunity to talk about an immediately relevant line of resistance, then yes, that's what's going to be discussed. In line, if that level of resistance is a target, all the more. So we will continue to look at the bullish features up here and beyond on a step-by-step basis. If the price were to, and I'm just going to say this, if it were to surprise to the upside, the one thing I would say is be prepared potentially on any breakout of a bullish pattern, and please let this sink in. Please be prepared potentially for any breakout of a bull pattern for it to overcomplete. Okay, the specific, and you could say even undercomplete. I would say undercomplete to be fully fair, but I don't want to be I don't want to be I don't want to just turn the sign over. I saw a guy in the street corner today, and he says he had one of those big arrows, and it was like, this is really important, what's being said on this sign. It was funny, like one of those big spinning signs you do for like a carpet factory or something. He was on the corner. It's like, you need to pay attention to every word on this sign. Then he flipped it over, and then it said something completely different. It's something completely out of the ordinary. I was like, does he even know if he's telling people what's on the sign is important or not? I mean, just like a mixed message. I don't want to be the guy in the street corner like, hey, look at this. Hey, look at that. There will be a few specific moves as we dial into the framework of the interior patterns okay? And this is where we'll get the market, okay? This is where we'll try and really beat the market. Within the specific framework of the patterns, there may be a reason why some may underperform. I would say within the recognition of a real pattern breakout of any macro situation, we would want to see some really intergalactic style, in terms of real rocket fuel type move. It's nice to slow and steadily carve up along the way with some sort of a market phenomenon, right? But just be prepared that like a real solid breakout, we'd probably want to carve along a little bit more, less interestingly than something like this. It's like we're turning resistance into support like every time, at least even on the candles in that zone. Like every single one of these moves is a resistance to a support, is a resistance into a support. You guys see, is a resistance into a support, is another resistance into support. If we get onto the candle wick here, it's like literally is another resistance into support. Like that is not textbook breakout material, guys. That is real calculated dynamics in terms of the interplay between the buyers and the sellers. I won't say the word programmed, but it's extremely calculated, okay, in terms of the patterning, in terms of the expectations of the buyers and sellers. So I would still like to see the market ideally just shock everybody in terms of a real strong move. We had a couple moves like that in here. You guys know we had the day of 12 to 13% to the upside. That was a phenomenal day. We had some real strong moves here recently that kind of indicated like that's a breakout. That's something that's really going to go somewhere. And the important thing about that would be we can carve our way up to a target, right? The important thing would be, as you guys look at whatever patterns that we are discussing, you understand this now in terms of the framework of the symmetrical triangulation, etc. And I appreciate you guys listening to that. I don't want to undercover the whole issue. Like I want you to understand the scope of what I'm discussing and why, and the framework it fits into. But the crucial thing is a nice pattern to that follows a strong move to the upside. We would like to get up and out, bam, and to recomplete that move to the upside. Like as we're looking at a potential bull flag here, it's a decent move. It was a nice move up here, not bad. As we would look at this, the overall entirety of the move, maybe 5% there and abouts, 5 to 6, 7% therein, right? And let me bring up something from Angel real quickly in the back. Now, some of this may sound complicated to some people. It's like, no, we're reading, materials from New York Institute of Finance. We're consistently in the back. He brings up something on momentum, measuring momentum in terms of, him bringing up, he got back into his notes as to why he started investing in his stable of non-Bitcoin cryptocurrencies. Value, looking at the value calculator in terms of like momentum, in terms of in terms of measuring the momentum. Some of these have such incredible momentum as you look at a rune, you look at a waves, etc. And so when we're discussing things that seem a little bit complicated, it requires some thought. We like to chill a little bit and talk in terms of kind of I'd say with a mindset that makes it's not. What we say, guys, it's not punk crypto. Let's go. It's not it. We're a little bit. We try and put a more sophisticated, demeanor into it all and approach to it all. It just is. And shout out to Angel. He's done extremely well on some of the within him saying the cryptocurrencies that are non-Bitcoin. He just does a really good job, and we try and do a great job overall in terms of identifying the coins that have a real utility to them. And that's one of the difficulties as you were to say, I want a 10x, I want a 100x, etc. Especially some of the startups. Like we don't want to get involved in anything that just doesn't have utility. It's just a trade opportunity, and for some reason the coin goes up. It's going to go up 200 times in 5 days, and then for some unknown reason it's going to go down. It's going to go down, 300% in the next couple of days. It's like we don't want to build a resume of coins, and you guys know this, of coins that are like it pumped up and then it dumped down. That's not on the ticket, right? So within this specified understanding that we have some kind of rules for what we choose to invest in, or what I choose to bring to the group, or what the group even talks about. We have some some different parameters that we like to put into place. So that's a lot said about that. But yeah, just the momentum factor. I appreciate you bringing that to everyone's attention. If you have more to say about that, Angel, I would invite you to please bring that to everyone's attention in terms of what additional framework you would like to bring into the mix as we watch potential bull flag come into play. Let's go into the 30-minute aside from the hourly and take a look at the level of acceleration that we've had here from the original. You guys can, let's see, in terms of the, and it was down through this, wasn't it? In terms of that first, and we really haven't had any reversals. That's the nice thing, as we do look at a pattern, and this is important, that as we talk about a specific, let's say a specific rising wedge, it is bearish to the extent that we would expect it to break down, right? That's not necessarily a reversal, right? That's not necessarily us saying, and please, no, we have continuation patterns. These have essentially operated as continuation patterns and with a bearish slant to them, right? They are directional for a bit of time in the bullish sequence. They have continued, but we have had at least one that expressed that bearish feature. The secondary one just didn't quit. The secondary one, BTC actually beat it, and it was nice to see that. It just ran all over the top of it and just wouldn't quit as we formulated that specific. Let's go into the specific here, that specific triangulation at the top. Let's see here 1 second if Angel said anything. Doesn't look like it. So as we would look at the secondary framework, which just came off a nice triangulation to the upside. That was the preference of this top line pattern, the triangulation. You do understand now why I have discussed this specific channel framework. It's very well indicated, not only standing on its own, but also in line with the specified larger triangulation pattern. Right? It is that carry up feature from the lower level support to that resistance. So it's inherent with any symmetrical triangle, period. We'll just continue to reinforce that in the market as we're on that target, right? We are on that target, and it's a low target. Isn't it? That's the one problem with this specific triangulation. It's a low target, isn't it? Bringing this level of support up to that level of resistance, that's a low target, right? That's not much of a breakout, guys. That's a breakout of 10%, $4,000 of a breakout. That's a tight trade, guys. You guys know this, huh? That's a tight trade. Instead of picking up targets down, let's say down 40% below, or down, you guys, in terms of that 50% instead of 38% below. I mean, we're stuck here. I mean, just think the breakout is what? As of right now, the breakout to one of the potential targets would be adding on $4,000, 10%, 8%. That's tough, guys. That's a tough breakout trade in terms of measuring this with the potential carry up of the support to the top line threshold here, right in line with that top pivot, guys. That's a tight channel. That's one of the difficulties of symmetrical triangles. As you look at them, and you guys just know this, it's one of the difficulties of the symmetrical triangle. Just 10 times out of 10, guys, it is. So we, of course, want that amplitude function to the upside. We, of course, want that larger feature, but understand when you trade those symmetrical triangles, lifting this bottom side support or the resistance, or this resistance here, let me say, or this specific line of resistance here that we would anticipate would be going down to this level, right? Now, that's a pretty tight bargain as well. You guys know that. So that carry down feature from resistance to an implied support, that target framework, and you guys look at the notes on it. I just say the notes because we got it right. That's about what it looks like on the upside. But yeah, that's a tight short as well. It still moves. It's still got the ability for you to trade it. But as we would look at it, so preferable to hit your targets below. So hugely preferable to hit that target below. It's not even in question. If you were to say, okay, a trader has to survive on Crypto Street or Wall Street or wherever, he has to survive, and he's going to either trade the amplitude, right, or let's say a non-amplitude move, right, of the support carried up, okay, on every symmetrical triangle, or he's going to capture the bottom of the symmetrical triangle. You'd be like, well, Mr. Such and Such on the street, wherever he is, Crypto Street or Wall Street, he's going to need to capture this every time to stay at the desk. He's going to need to hit his target, the part that formulates the bottom of the symmetrical triangle instead of this little $4,000 move, right? It's not even close, guys. It's just not even close. We can go with this first move here of $15,000. Just say ballpark $15,000, or we can go with this next move here from breakout, which is to a target of 4,000, right? It's just like, guy needs to be buying down here. Guy needs to be buying down here. Trading amidst this time, no problem. But yeah, just to reframe that in terms of the way that we think about it, the breakout trades are good. That's part of the game. In terms of this specific move here, could be a nice trade for someone who's not involved, who didn't hit those lower targets, right? Without a doubt, this specific bull flag to the upside would be a beautiful opportunity for an entry were we to get the required framework together. So looking at this, let's dig into the details here. Just want to encourage you guys to continue to hit your targets. We always say buy at support, sell at resistance, trade your patterns, and hit your targets. Right now, trading your patterns doesn't eliminate the need to hit your targets. Like, hugely important in this game. I know it's been a while since like we re-hit the 50. It's been a month, but that's 38%. That's like 38%. Within this framework, we had multiple opportunities to trade patterns before just like waiting, and we're going to trade the first macro pattern we see, right? I mean, you can do that, and again, it's already been accomplished on the weekly, right? As we were looking at, we've already done that on the weekly, right? So let me dig into the chat and see what I can do. Personally speaking, question: has anyone traded out of a current trade to trade into another coin due to another trade looking more attractive? Hey, that's a good question by Angel. Has anyone traded out of a trade, okay, on a current coin to trade into another coin due to another trade looking more attractive? That's Angel's question. Then No Torque saying, yes, I have. I was actually in LRC bull flag. I mentioned last stream at 107 and sold at 121. Nice trade, Torque. And jumped in on waves at 47 last night. Very nice. Nice jump in at 47 on waves. Yeah, you're up well on waves. So yeah, Angel, there's the answer. No Torque answering up with the question: has anyone traded out of a trade into a more lucrative trade or a more attractive trade? I think did he say a more attractive trade? Into another coin, just into another coin. Let's see. Yeah, he did say more attractive, because yeah, they can be attractive. Well, you got to nail that call, don't you? Because when you're paying to get out of a trade to get into another trade, those exchanges like to be their own type of rebel bots sometimes. As we look at like rebel bots, that coin, it's like they are very good at making you pay to get in and out. So Torque, you made a great transition there. Congrats on that specific trade. And Angel, yeah, good question. If you had more to add on that, let us know. Anything else to add more on that question, Angel? Let me put that in the chat. Bam, 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 bam. No Torque, excellent trade. There we go. Yeah, excellent trade. Boom. Very, very nice. And so with the understanding that, yeah, that's always a challenge as we would look at it. Like, because you want your money to work. It's good to be patient. Sometimes it's good to continue to be patient. You guys know the notion that you're never overexposed in any one trade. And guys, you always obviously run your own books, etc. But as we discuss that, the notion that you're not overexposed in one trade does allow you to put your funds into a different coin, right? So that is a crucial thing, as we would talk about just the ability to navigate around money management, etc. Do you have extra to jump into another trade? And if you don't, maybe that means you're overexposed in one area, right? That's always maybe that's a great follow-up to that original question. Great question. And that's maybe I think a perfect follow-up, really, as you would look at that. It's like, maybe you were overexposed if that was the entirety of your position that you had to negotiate or navigate it in the water of crypto. Maybe you would want to consider not being fully exposed, or maybe you just had multiple trades. Maybe you had 10 trades ongoing and one just wasn't, you were finally tired of one enough. It's like, how long could you hold on to VeChain before it really started to go back up? How long could you hold on to some of these other coins before they really started to move, right? And let's dig into the framework here. We can go back to waves for a second. Nice action. I'm excited we brought that to the VIP in the back. Appreciate that in terms of the momentum. A nice page and number. Absolutely. Stored, viewed, boom. Look at this. Here we go. Look at that. Measuring momentum. The concept of momentum is the most basic application of oscillator analysis. Momentum measures the velocity of price changes as opposed to the actual price levels themselves. Momentum indicators. The formula for momentum. V is the latest closing price, and V is the closing price X days ago. VX, V minus VX. Very interesting. Closing price. Do you know the other dynamic? To V, velocity. Ding, ding, ding. Here's the question for the group. It's that next level diagnostic. So, what is V minus VX also known as? All right, Mr. Matos. What is V minus VX also known as? Down, 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 down. We need. This is going to be some. I wonder if I have any music for this. This is a good one. This is a good one here. Angel's on it now. He brought this up. I want to know. Here we go. This is good because we're talking about really integrated technicals. Let me say Price is Right. No, let me say let me see if I can do this. If there's any kind of what is this song? That's not good. What is this? No, I wanted like a I need a theme for. So I will watch the bull flag on. I just asked Angel a question. Momentum to me. All right. Let's see. I wanted the Price is Right. Let's see. Anyway, you know that the waiting music. I wanted like a game show. Waiting Jeopardy. I wanted Jeopardy. Jeopardy music. That's what I wanted, but I don't want to get a copyright claim. Geopardy. If I can spell it, Jeopardy. Music. Let's see. No, it's not going to have it either. Contest music. Yeah, man. Shoot. Let me see what this is. I don't think I can come up with the appropriate music. That's not cool. I wanted my own music. Let's see if I have any cool music, because I wanted it to be like Jeopardy music or something cool like that. It's not. I got the book right in front of me. Coach Cheese. Yo, Coach Cheese, what's up? Coach Cheese, this is some behind the scenes potential information, and I think it would be good for us to maybe know the difference between momentum and that componentry that you're looking at in terms of V. Let's look at this real quickly. V is the closing price, the latest closing price, and VX is the closing price X days ago. Well, if you make X a constant, okay, this is going to be the trick. If you make X a constant, okay, and that constant being either a year, 365, or let's say 30 or 31, a month, then V minus V to the X would be your, and I'll give this to you, would be ROC. Would be your ROC. And that would be the framework for you putting together your V minus V to the X would be V minus V to the X, which would be your closing price minus your closing price X number of days ago. If you make, and within the understanding of rate of change, what is the rate of change? Okay, as Angel talks about, and you know, from this is important stuff, guys. Looking at the rate of change. All right, the rate of change in and of itself is an indicator. If you look on your indicators, you'll probably pull up a rate of change. It should be, and there may be some variability in terms of the way it's applied, but as he talks about momentum and the reason for being in a lot of the altcoins, i.e. Waves, which has an incredible momentum right now, which is also, let's say, with Room. No, let's see. Not confused. It's not confused at all. It is it's a crossover. It's a crossover of TA and rate of change. Rate of change, just so that you guys know, rate of change is a buying indicator, okay, in and of itself. Just so that you guys know, some people will look at the rate of change or the closing price, the current price, closing price, etc., now versus what the closing price was 30 days ago. And to the extent that it is a higher price, they will use that rate of change, okay, which is is defined exactly as it is in momentum, with the understanding that you're going to have a set number of days. Rate of change, they'll state, well, typically to say, okay, what was it a year ago? If it's a positive, and depending upon it, they'll scale it differently. But that rate of change, a higher rate of change, essentially that you have a positive rate of change either a month ago or a year ago, believe it or not, that's an indicator for people to buy or sell. People will buy something based upon a positive rate of change. That's it, guys. It's that simple. Believe it or not, that works in terms of trading. There are functional studies done. There is a line of work, believe it or not, as simple as you would say, but it's not a bull flag. It's not an RSI. It's not a point of control with the volume. It's not a, I mean, let's get into it, right? There's a million different indicators we could use. It's not a commodity channel index overlap with an RSI with a hidden bullish divergence on a VWAP MACD, literally, with a chop in neutral. No, but it is one of the most simplistic. Rate of change is one of the most simplistic, beautiful things you could think of. Literally, someone measuring, is the price now higher than it was 30 days ago? Or is the price now higher than it was a year ago? Institutional framework will put that, and they'll use that along with some other indicators, but that is rate of change. Okay, that is what it is. So you may find some indicators that will give you a rate of change with a variability that you can say, and essentially it's letting you know, are you in an uptrend, right? Have you established an uptrend? Is your price higher now than it was a year ago? And believe it or not, that becomes muddied up in a lot of kind of the advanced technicals that we look at. So just another I guess technical indicator that we could cover as we look at momentum, and Angel mentioning momentum as one of the key features of some of the altcoins that are just blasting through the roof. Huge momentum, huge momentum. Typically, you can go 365, or you can go 30. You can vary that analysis on, and it may it can get complicated, but it's such a simple approach. I don't want to complicate it beyond what it needs to be, what it is inherently, because it's a beautiful look at something. Is something higher than it was a year ago? Is something higher than it was 30 days ago? And you can look at that. And it's difficult within the context of the within the retracements. It's interesting in the context of a year, like really interesting. Recently, as you would look at the fundamental approach, and that's a very fundamental approach, we would use no indicator in its I'd say in isolation, right? We would always use them in concert with the other indicators. But some indicators have a phenomenal, really phenomenal framework in terms of their expression. So looking at, we had noted this frequently, we've just been sideways for a year, right? What is this? We've just been sideways for like 400 days. You could get a little more advanced and scope out your own daily time frame, or in terms of like if you wanted to day trade, etc., or you wanted to provide a different level or duration, but it is 365. It is, just so that you know, it's 365, and that's typically applied to a more, I'd say it has been applied to, and I don't even know that I can say that in terms of like a more mature market, or by mature, we just talked about Luna kind of maturing with its with Terra getting into acquisition of BTC. We talk about Doge or Sheeb, whatever, may not have much of a utility beyond the social framework, getting into more of a developmental phase and really a maturity phase. BTC, can you really call BTC a market that is not mature? It's pretty much there, guys. It hasn't been sitting with dust in the corner office of BlackRock or JP Morgan. It's not like the old office in the corner, right? That's not the maturity we're talking about. We're talking about a fluid liquid market with the ability to really, cover large positions, worldwide, not only attention, but levels of interaction, multi-continental, a very I don't know what all the indicators we would go down in terms of the full discussion of is BTC a mature market, but yeah, it's there, right? It's getting more and more mature. It's being held back a bit to the extent that regulations, as we would look at like Gate. Recently, Gate is being taken off of U.S. Soil. Yeah, or hopefully not forever, right? But as we look at that, it's like some of the regulations are, to the extent that we would say something that is hampering the level of and nice pickup, guys here, nice pickup. And VIP had this framework earlier on beforehand, didn't we? Let's look at this in the back. Very nice. Angel, thanks for sharing that. That's very cool. As we look at the, let's see here. In rate of change, just so you know, Angel, that's not me. Okay? And that's another time when I say, sometimes we'll say, oh, there's something cool I came up with, right? No, that rate of change, that's steep New York, my man. Institute of Finance, that's direct from the horse's mouth, okay? So just so you know, looking at this framework of this specific need to pull back to this this line in terms of VIP earlier today, gave it to him at the 47.544 to stack orders down below. At least let them know that's where we could be heading in terms of the formation of a bull flag in the back at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Oh, 2 o'clock this afternoon. Sure enough, ba-boom, right? So nice framework to see. Again, our expectations come to light in terms of the the save feature, right? Kind of the fallback pattern for the failed pennant, which is again the pennant, the symmetrical triangulation, resistance, support, okay? Failure of the pennant, we wanted to get up and over, confirm resistance as support, and boom, move to the upside. That would be the ideal, correct? In terms of that specific hit down into this zone, it's not worrying anyone right now. I'll just tell you, that move has not worried anybody. Let me say this: to the extent that we did get close on the lines, on the candle wicks, that could be a bit troublesome, right? On the actual framework of like a 30-minute is beautiful. 30-minute is picture perfect, right? On the 5-minute, it is picture perfect. All right, that's a nice lead into a bull flag. That's got some people excited. Going to the 1 minute, if we could fit it on the screen. This is where, we just can't. I have to go to the candle wicks on the 5-minute. To the extent that we have a bit too hard of a drop, what is that indicative of? Essentially, it's indicative of the fact as we would go into maybe, and again, we have to check the candles. 2022, check the candles. Let me see here what we got. Question is posed for VIPs, London. Waves on 5-minute looks interesting. I'll check it out in 2 seconds. We'll go split screen. How many indicators per se are you going to test your trading strategy? This is to VIP. On my personal micro, I use 10 days times 3. Waves on 5-minute looks interesting. Personally speaking, more than 90% of crypto participants do not understand crypto. Hello, people. Not everything is a coin. Not everything is a coin. Okay, 90% of people don't understand crypto. Question is posed for VIPs London. Which, let's see. So this is a question. How many indicators per se are you going to test your trading strategy? Okay, very, very good. On a personal micro, I say 10 days times 3. Gotcha. So in terms of your indicators, Angel's back testing them for 10 days. Is that what you've done in terms of your indications? You're doing 10 days times 3 or 30 days. You're doing a 30-day stint on that. I'd like to know more about how you're trading and testing, going to test your trading strategy. That's excellent. Angel talking about testing your trading strategy, a hugely important component of the framework. It's a great lead in terms of the overall discussion, rate of change, etc. Because what I'm discussing, what I do discuss, has been at least frameworked by New York Institute of Finance as being empirically proven, right? In terms of what like if I ever say, the RSI works very interestingly. A lot of people will use it as a momentum indicator, i.e., a continuation. If we were to go into a zone with Let me see if I can pull this up. Like, what is it, a reversal, or is it a momentum continuation feature? If we were looking at the just look at waves on that 5-minute torque set, looks interesting. A little bit of a little bit of pattern development along the top. After a nice move to the upside, congrats to the VIP, anyone who traded in the back, very, very nicely done. BTC on the right, waves on the left, just because we've been talking about it for weeks now. We're bringing it to the VIP's attention. It's been a 700% move to the upside. Very, very interesting in terms of the overall pricing dynamics. Just been unbeatable. Just very, very nice. Great project. We'll watch it for some price action here in a little bit. Continue to do that. Going back to the momentum formula, comment was answered a previous question. I gotcha. Yeah, copy that. Okay. Gotcha. Let's see, how many indicators per se are you going to test your trading strategy? My personal micro, I use 10 days times 3. I'm going to put fully tested. And I'm going to put it's tested and always to be tested more. Right? When we look at the specifics in terms of a lot of our functions, in terms of the the approach that we have is that something can be tested until we really test it for ourselves. Does it really matter that someone else tells you that they've tested it? When you start to book trades on something, that's the ultimate test when you're actually doing it live. Some of the indicators will actually change as you test, as you do test it and trade it. Some of the indicators will behave differently as you participate in the market. You guys know that. But if you're trading heavily in terms of your position, you're going to change the RSI. You're going to change the MACD. You're going to change the. You just think about which indicator are you not going to change if you're trading heavily. You're going to buy. You're going to adjust the everything from how close you are to the moving average to whether or not you're overbought, oversold, whether or not you're how high you are on the community channel index, if you're above or below in the midst of a chop, if you're, we could go on and on, but it's, those are huge. That's hugely important as you would talk about, testing a strategy versus trading a strategy with your indicator. Just hugely important, and never to be over reliant on any specific indicator. That's the crucial I'd say point there. And I'd just love to hear Angel talking about testing your strategy. This is hugely important, very important. So if I speak of an indicator or anything like that, or he and I are talking about momentum, rate of change, something like that, just understand it's within the framework that we Angel and I talk about the New York Institute of Finance a little bit. That's what we do, right? So that's no problem with that. That's just the way it is, brother. That's cool. I mean, everybody else gets it. They're like, well, what else are you going to really talk about? There's this Google page. Google page has all the answers. Like, well, that's cool, but what's the real answer? And as the market does continue to mature and the street, quote unquote, Wall Street is continually, increasingly involved in crypto, we can try and shun all of them away. We can try and say that no, we would prefer not to have them operating in our space in crypto. But it is what it is. Those guys learn. That's literally where Wall Street goes to school. They're the biggest traders right now of BTC. Right? I mean, we can look into that, but and we need to look into that. Actually, I want to look into that. Is Wall Street the biggest trader right now of BTC? I can't imagine that the retail community would be the largest traders of BTC. I want to look into that. I will find the answer to that. It's a good question. Definitely, I'll say this: the guys who are beating the market, that 1% of 1%, maybe that's really beating the market, I will almost guarantee you that the individuals who are beating the market are the ones with that level of insight into the patterning, into the market dynamics, i.e., New York Institute of Finance. They're not in business to go out of business, guys. A lot of retail traders go out of business. The big dogs are not in business to go out of business. Right? You'll hear every now and then, like Melvin Capital overexposed on X, Y, or Z, something like that. And I don't pay too much attention to, honestly, if you guys knew how little I watch CNBC, I'll watch it every now and then. I'll try and dig into Bloomberg every now and then. I'll read the front page of the Wall Street Journal when they email it to me quickly. Financial Times. I'm not like this guru who sits around and reads all the Barron's Digest and crypto financial monthly. I'm not into that. But if I can find out what the big guys know, how they're applying it to beat the retail traders, that's just what I want to know. That's a big. I want the source, right? And that source is the same source that provided the details to like the Federal Reserve when the Federal Reserve like studied the head and shoulders pattern from an economic standpoint. Does it make sense? Do the economics of it make sense, right? So I want that same reliable source that they have used. So that's why we go to the top dogs. That's what we do. They're cool dudes too. If you guys don't know New York Institute of Finance, you're call up to them, talk to them. They're cool dudes, pretty cool dudes, chill dudes. So looking at this kind of save feature, the save pattern, one complication on the 5-minute, which the traders don't like right now. On BTC, we set a flat bottom formation on the lines on the 5-minute. Popular time frame amongst the traders. We've recovered, right, in terms of that hit to the downside. And we're pushing up along this resistance. As I was coming home late tonight, we were pushing along this level of not resistance, support. If you were shorting, it was resistance, but this level of support. You can always tell people who mix up support and resistance because they're shorting half the time. If you're trying to go down, that's acting as resistance. I was not shorting, just so you know. But this level of support here, we were up along the level of support. You just have to flip it, guys. If you're trying to go down at a short, this is your resistance. I need to get down there, right? Or you could say it's hung up on on a technical support line. I need to go down, but it's like you understand if you're trying to support, it's like this. Let go. I need to get through this. That's the dynamic in play. So from this support line, we were just pushing and pushing along this, and we have struck into the framework of what I let VIP and all you guys know about. We've discussed with frequency that the catch pattern for the bull pennant is this bull flag. It just is. That's the expected catch framework that we would look to play, and it's not me making something up now, right? You guys know this. It's not me making something up now. At 2 o'clock this afternoon, we're in a pennant going to the upside here. Right after I got the main video out to the community, right, in terms of the bull pennant trying to get up and out, etc., or the requirements for that, and then you'll see at 2 o'clock in the back here. Just this framework that I put together, expecting this bottom dash line here, bam, to potentially come into play. So it's nice to be a step ahead of the group, right? Take some of that emotion out of it, allows you to target better. As we would look into the framework now, it's a bit complicated. We have this downward sloping channel. Just this would technically be a contraindication, right? Technically, it would be a contraindication, right? Because the bullish feature, in terms of the channel framework, we would expect that to be that we would expect that this channel feature to operate to the upside. Boom, flag, bam, move to the upside, downward sloping channel. The flag always needs to, for a perfect flag, needs to cut against that grain, right? In terms of this descending line of resistance, this flat line of support, descending triangle, bearish. We have had some problems with bearish features. They keep getting beaten to the upside. That's not a problem here, I'll tell you that. But it's in terms of that recently, as we would look at the framework, as we would look at this specific patterning here to the upside, quite a few of the bearish formations just got flat out taken to school. You guys know that. People who were shorting got cost a lot of money here recently. Now, this would have been a move in line with this top line resistance. And if you're just tuning in, we appreciate it. We'd like you to hit the like button, shout out in the chats, and let us know what you're doing. What's cooking? How are your trades going? This is London with Bitcoin Spike. Lowest target in the market. We can honestly say that. Lowest target in the market. Lowest published target in the market on BTC. What's going on? That's huge. We do have the Bitcoin bull. You guys want to see him? Let's see if we got the Bitcoin bull. Let me see where he is. Where is he? I gotta corral him up. Let me see where he is, and let me see if I can put him to a round or two here on the screen. Just because anytime we talk about BTC, we'd like to bring it home to the what did we just do there? Let me make sure this is good there. I got a few technical issues going on. We want to march the Bitcoin bull. It is our station. It's what we believe in. And Angel Matos at the top at $7.79. All of our VIP. We congratulate you in 2022 for all your success thus far. Look forward to more of it. And here is your bull. that would be him. Now, he is not the sole reason as to why we have been beating all of the bearish features herein. However, you have to admit, that his timing has kind of been impeccable. If you guys will admit, his timing in terms of his arrival to this specific channel seems to almost be like a prognosticator, somewhat of a, you guys will agree, huh? Somewhat of like a fortune teller in the form of a Bitcoin bull. Like maybe there's a reason we have a Bitcoin bull. Maybe it's a coincidence, but I do like to think that I would know when to pull out the Bitcoin bull and when not to. Well, we were contemplating moving further to the downside. I did, believe it or not, I did the analysis, personal inventory, and decided I could put the Bitcoin bull on the screen. If people choose to invest in Bitcoin in along this zone, and I have put the Bitcoin bull on the screen, they may want to sue me. I did all of that analysis on my own, and I decided to march the Bitcoin bull throughout this zone. So nice moves, nice moves. We will stick with the Bitcoin bull, and yes, I did that analysis. You guys understand I have a channel, so I have to be like, okay, that's fine. I guess they're going to sue me. It went up there. Boom. We had some good experience. The group knows me, and it wasn't quite so subtle, if that is subtle at all, in terms of the Bitcoin bull. In this zone back in here, when this thing was about to go back up and launch, they know me in the back. I was launching a bull like nobody's business. And I had been saying here, I was like, well, I'll show bull. I'll show bull. So we did. You guys know that. That's just me. That's how I am. They know that from this time period, this retracement here. It's like everyone's on thin ice, and what's it going to do? And I'm just throwing bull up in the back. Bam, 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 and boosh. Nice move to the upside. So, yeah, here we did it as well. Amidst all of the potential for the fallout, including litigation. Of course, it's not financial advice, but hey, what do we got? Freddie Hidalgo just woke up from a power nap on stream, taking notes. I love the bull and music. Boom! What's up, Freddie in the house? Like that power nap idea. Good job. We're chatting with Angel, and boom! There we go. And glad to have you here, Freddie. Freddie is definitely a friend and VIP. He is a VIP, and we're so excited to have you back. We hope that everything that I discussed with you, that it's everything is going great on that front. We really do hope so. I discussed kind of a personal, non-personal, etc. issue with Freddie. We just hope it's going awesome now. We hope everything's panned out and life is beautiful. We're really hoping that. Now, looking at the framework of the wow, look at this, guys. This is a big deal, Freddie. We're talking about rate of change, talking about momentum, talking about Angel brought up measuring momentum. New York Institute of Finance he gave permission to share it, etc. In terms of the momentum, him letting us know why he invests in microcoins, some microcoins, other just altcoins, etc. I say altcoins instead of just all Bitcoin. We covered that in depth. Might be something interesting to kind of go over. I went through a whole montage in terms of all of the patterns in play, essentially talking about why I was discussing this specific pattern framework. Right? Why is the channel there? Right? Why is that channel there? Well, it comes from the bottom side target lift of the support. Just to review, so we can all review. Glad that you could join us tonight. Freddie's a great VIP. So glad to have you, brother. In terms of that pickup, bam. You see that? That is a target. Believe it or not, that is a fulfilled target option for the symmetrical triangulation. All right? It just is to the top side hits. Always bringing that to the top side. Now, in terms of the downside target, you're looking at it as well. On any symmetrical triangulation, the potential for a move to the downside in line with that specific parallel function from the resistance down. Okay? And that is separate and apart from, okay, that is a distinguishing characteristic of a symmetrical triangulation, guys. It just is. Apart from any specific let's say target we would have to the upside, right? Any specific target we'd have to the upside, or any specific target we would have to the downside. They exist in terms of that parallel function. They exist independently. They're always going to be a potential take level in the market for the participants. Always. So that's why we have allowed this specific let's say, channel framework here to just kind of exist on its own. And I just asked for the VIPs that are just kind of with the understanding, or to have the understanding that you would know that behind this is the specific symmetrical triangulation. So if I just speak of this in and of itself, which is really well indicated, very well indicated, that you would have that understanding that that's where it originates, and it's well formed enough on its own. It could absolutely, it could operate independently of any other pattern to the upside. We deal with these all the time. We stack ranges all the time. So bam, bam, stacking the range on top. You just know that as a fact. That has been it's a mainstay of TA. It's a range. Good, stack it, bam, to the upside. So that would be the most aggressive target that we could come up with in terms of this specific, triangulation. To the extent that we could come up with a more aggressive one, what I've said is the following. I would prefer, instead of playing a game like, well, in 6 weeks, what's the price going to be? We're going to come up with our upside targets. We've done that with each and every move herein, and playing this on a step-by-step basis is really conducive right now, as BTC may be about to go green after dipping down into an area that we did notify of in the back rooms, etc. Talking about that pickup along after the potential fallout, right? That pickup at the lower target there on that green line. Hugely important, right? To understand what's going on with the price action. Not everyone is going to understand what's going on with the price action. Understanding that fallout is anticipated here. It's a big deal, guys. There's not a lot of groups doing that, right? There aren't. In terms of the pattern framework now, let's put it into context with the 4 hourly. Let's look at that 4 hourly chart. We were below that. We wanted to hold that. We did dip down underneath this level of prior resistance to support, right? To the extent that that is the confirmation ongoing, we welcome that. That is fine. To the extent that, let's go into the 1 hourly. See how we're doing on the 1 hourly. The 1 hourly is a little bit more, and from the 1 hourly and below, it becomes a little bit more difficult to assess or to verify. The 4 hourly and above, we're up and above the level of resistance. The 1 hourly and below, okay, the 1 hourly, you can see on the lines here, and the below would be all of the candle work here. We are underneath a level of resistance. Okay, so we're clear on the 4 hourly and above. All right, so particularly on the 4 hourly, we'll just say on the 4 hourly for right now. There's some other patterns coming into play on those other time frames. Descending line of resistance. You guys got this flat level of support. Angel, it's nice to have you in the stream tonight, brother. Angel shouting out to Freddie. Hopefully Freddie hasn't just hit the snooze button, rolled over and chatted, and maybe gone again. Freddie, Angel is shouting out to you, and we'll see if Freddie indeed is awake or if he's just on snooze. We will see. Thanks, Angel, for shouting out to Freddie. And looking at the framework here, nice. Let's say a nice bull flag in play. A little bit of a deviation if we look on the 30-minute. A little bit less than desirable in terms of this degree. And this is the benefit of a bull market, right? As we talk about, like, beating patterns like this, all right? And before I get into the full designation of the market as a bull market, when you see patterns that are not textbook, when you see multiple defects in multiple areas and each and every one of those patterns being beaten, that's indicative of a bull market, or even a kind of a micro bull run. When you look at a coin like Waves, let's just check out Waves real quickly. You don't have to really discuss if Waves is bull, right? That's as bull can get, guys. Looking at that framework, and congrats to anybody who traded Waves. I've been bringing that up to the VIP in the back, as well to Angel. Congrats to anybody who chose to trade that 700% move. Don't think anyone here caught the targets. Some old friends of mine in terms of this bottom side target. I think we went over Waves live, and I did this on live on Waves. If you guys have looked at the project at all, it's a nice project. It's like a nice competitive project. There's a reason it's doing well. You guys can get to the fundamental news, etc., surrounding waves. We also looked at Rune. Rune is, and I challenge you guys to look at Rune and look at waves in terms of the competitiveness of the project. This is the waves chart on the daily. Here's the Rune chart on the daily. Yeah, so is Rune bull? Well, it's gone up a couple 100%, 300%, right? About 250? Let's see, depending upon whether or not you're in leverage. Let's max that out, okay? In terms of this full threshold, 287, okay? About 287, almost 300. If I go to the actual, there we go. Let me go to the actual line of pickup to the maximization. Yeah, a little over 300%, okay? Maxed on Rune. So when we talk about bull, well, it's got one heck of a run going, right? But technically, is that bull? It's in a bearish pattern. Nobody wants to hear this, right? Now, the bulls will say, yes, and that can operate as a continuation pattern, boom, to the upside, right? There you go. That's the bulls, right? Technically, it's in a bearish pattern. Technically speaking, we saw a lot of these complete up and out early last year. So to say that's just as BTC runs positive, nice to see the pickup. Nice to know that any VIP trading had that line, bam, boom. Way to go, guys. Way to go. Nice pickup. Very, very nice pickup. And let's look at the lowest that it did get. It got down to this 46,446. Good work, guys. Good. So as we look at Rune and we distinguish between Rune and I'm not going to naysay Rune. Look at the thing. It's gone ballistic, guys. That's not the point here at all. In terms of it's not bullish. That's not the point, guys. The point is to compare it with something, as I just talked about. It's in a bullish phase right now. Period. It's in a bullish phase right now with a potential bullish feature were the descending triangle to operate as a continuation pattern. And we're not catching every possibility. We're not, there's going to be some instances where the descending triangle is more likely to operate as a top than others. You guys know that. But looking at Rune versus waves, look at waves. Boom. Rune could look just like that in 6 months, right? It could. But waves looks like this now. You would look at this, extraordinarily bullish, right? So although it may be time at some point for a pullback, we dial into the lower time frames to take a look at the pattern formation, right? And yeah, a little bit of a drawdown. Looks like a small descending triangle along the top there. It looked like that had roughly been indicated along the top. I would expect more patterning. Another pennant in play for waves. Very nice. Very nicely done. As you look at Rune, and it's good to bring Rune up because it's just been an amazing run. Waves, 700% since that bottom line target. Looking at Rune on the hourly, Rune had plenty of opportunity to divest itself of its gains. Still does, right? As you would look at Rune, Rune has a wonderful opportunity right now in terms of, let's say, conceding to the notion of a wedge formation or even a channel formation. If we were to look at this, maybe on the 4-hourly, let's see what the 4-hourly has for us. Not so constricted on the 4-hourly. But if we were to look at just like a basic line formation here of either a constriction or a straight wedge formation, kind of a throwover, sure. Rune has the potential right now for a capitulation back through this level of resistance down below the level of support. In line with that threshold maximum that we would anticipate there be some price action, okay, along this specified top line resistance, just real clearly put, right? Just really easily digestible. Go to the lines and go to the candles if you're deciphering that top line resistance, right? The anticipation would be the breakout. That's what we would go for. Buy at support, sell at resistance, trade your patterns, right? Trade your patterns. Boom. There you go. Get you a nice confirmation on this would be beautiful. And hit your targets. Bam. Number one, hit your targets. Really in the market as you look at things. Hit your targets. So when we talk about the bullish phase here on Rune, in this bullish phase here, BTC's been manhandling some bearish patterns. As a matter of fact, it has been doing well. You guys know that. And so as we see this potentially bullish structure along the top, I'm excited to say VIP, we're ahead of the game. And if you're not VIP yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Torque, Man, I don't know, Torque. Torque has me thinking of changing the whole framework for Basecamp. The whole framework. And what do we got? Angel is always great to sit. Here we go. What did he say? Sit amongst legends like you in London. I'm humbled and honored to have found you all here in the VIP. Shout out to Freddie. Freddie, London is savage, 100%. You guys are rock and roll, huh? You guys are awesome. 100%. You guys are just the best trade group. You guys are awesome. VIP in the house. VIP. You guys know this, huh? Cool trade group, huh? Just phenomenal. Nobody else is going to sit here and go over the you guys know. No one else is going to sit here and go over the 86. No one else is going to I just don't know anybody. I can't believe this. Guys, there aren't other people that are talking about buying in at the low. Not buy low, sell high. Buying in at the low. Like, we don't want to buy low, sell high. We want to buy the absolute low, right? So that's the difference between VIP. We don't want to just buy a low, sell high. We want to buy the absolute low. We would like to sell the absolute high. Okay, we would like to achieve that absolute high, the pinnacle here in Austria, huh? Double top, boom, right? We'd like to catch every move. Some of it's practicality. If you guys aren't 100% for 100% for 100% on everything, I know that you live as well. Some of you have families. Some of you have other things to do other than the market, believe it or not, full time. So we would love to see, love to see on waves. If the bulls had their way, wouldn't that be amazing? Need to see a little bit of pattern pick up. Fibonacci's are on. Let's see what we got here. I know some guys are in I would imagine they are in not the extensions. We don't want extensions. We want retracements. I imagine some guys are in on waves on some leverage. And I know all the VIP and everyone else like, why didn't I just pepper in a little bit right when London brought it up, right? Because you probably would have sold it 3 times over. You know, you would have sold it in and out 3 or different times. They had multiple opportunities on waves where it really got cooking. It's one of the strongest moving coins right now in the market. It's one of the strongest moving mainstay coins, primary coins at all. Just even counting lower to mid-level cap, like mid-level cap, etc. Coins in the market. Period. Biggest front runner for 2022, 700% gain. That's okay, guys. That's the kind of stuff we'd like to start seeing to replicate what happened in 2021, where all of a sudden everything was a 7 or 8x, and the good ones were like Luna, like a 10x. Well, it's a 15x. Well, it's a 20x. Well, it's a So we'd like to get back into that main space where everything is just conquering by the mile, right? You can conquer by the inch. We're going to conquer by the mile. We're going to get into that framework of that kind of a market and have a few of those under our belt in terms of like 2021, 2022, and see what all this group can turn into. I'd be really excited to see what we can do with another strong year like 2021 to see what this group can really turn into. That's the question in London. What's the high where we sell? That is the question. That is a great, great question. And men spend years and years looking at that specific question. And they'll get it wrong and they'll get it right. And a lot of it comes down to Fibonacci's. A lot of it comes down to the same. And the challenge is this, Angel, as we look at that overall question in whatever trade VIPs enter. Well, sometimes we just get it right. Sometimes we just get it right. That's the best thing if we could just get it right. Sometimes we have to take it on kind of a day-by-day approach and look for like a double top. Sometimes it has to be a real strong level of resistance. Sometimes it is a key structure framework of the Fibonacci extensions. If it's Luna, half the time, more than half the time, you will not pay attention, as we see waves on the left, BTC on the right. You will not pay attention to most of its bearish patterns, and you have to learn that. So as each and every coin has its own structured framework that it likes to put together for us, we have to learn the coin. We have to learn the context. Is it with the understanding? It becomes a great question, Angel, because with the understanding that you have money to spare, the real answer, if you want the real answer, with money to spare on the downside and heavy reserve capital, were you to get to a circumstance with at least a limited mindset in terms of shorting, okay? I always say when it goes down, if it goes down, buy. If it goes down a lot more, buy a lot more. But if it goes down a whole lot more, buy a whole lot more, okay? If it goes up, sell. If it goes up a whole lot more, sell a whole lot more. But if it's really, really, really gone up, so much more, well, really, 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 sell a whole lot more. And you'll get into the framework where you understand that differently than right now, because right now, typically, and you don't want to just get the sheets ripped out from underneath you, but when you're starting to deal with, like right now, you have Fibonacci's right here, right? And I think that's the right answer, okay? As you look at the specific framework here, you will see the Fibonacci's in play. If we go to on the daily, within the context of, and now I'll say this also as well, it's very dangerous to short a high-speed bullet train, right? We all understand that. So there are limitations to the theory that it really, you guys can say this to some extent as well. There are some better expectations with the entirety of the Fibonacci's here, down to the 86, etc., stating, well, any one of these could pick up. You want exposure at each and every level, right? But we have the reserve capital necessary to operate at this level. There is a complete flip side to the coin where people who are operating on extensions say, okay, fine, that's great. It's gone up potentially to my next level extension, and to the extent that it wants to operate at my next level extension, I will institute more shorts. I will sell. So you can get to the position, and you have to understand, if you were to have a table full of analysts, right? A table full of analysts, a floor full of VPs all up against the window walls in corner offices, and you were to have the structured framework of measured volatility, additional components built into the framework in terms of bounded ranges, etc., threshold limitations on market cap studies. When you were really to dig into things to that level, and you have the report in front of you for XYZ, the report in front of you for ABC, and you've got the group to decipher everything in between, it's kind of a different discussion. So in the framework of what we look at, with trying to simplify things a little bit, and that's kind of the description of kind of like, I would imagine, like an investment banking firm, right? Like an investment banking firm would have a different approach than a retail investor. An investment banking firm can cover an upside position after, say, JP Morgan. Let's go with JP Morgan. They have decided that a fair value for Bitcoin is $38,000. Okay? They may have a financial, and we could talk about the absolute, let's say the sell at the absolute high. You could continue to sell beyond the absolute high with the expectation of recoup on that, to the extent that your capital facilitates you to operate above the high without a position. Period. Indefinitely. Indefinitely, to the extent that your capital position were to allow you to continue to sell at even a higher level, and you missed the top, and you were to have that level of capital available to cover the higher price, the question of, well, what is the exact price becomes calculable on a different level. Right, it becomes pertinent on a different level, and you start looking into, not to overcomplicate things, but guys, when I was 22, I was the lead analyst on $1 billion equity fund. Okay, I was across the table from Harvard. So these things, when I get asked a question by Angel in terms of, well, what is the high? How do we sell at the high? I'm letting him know a full-blown answer to the question. This is the type of question that a VP would to trade crypto, and I just don't mean holding. That's why you are trading crypto. And finally, let's see, personally speaking, you have to invest in crypto to trade crypto. Yeah, there you go. And I just don't mean holding. Then why are you trading crypto? There you go. But when you look at the high, like I'll shout out to AJ Crypto. AJ Crypto in the house. What's up, AJ Crypto? I was on the phone with AJ when Phantom rolled around, and we executed a trade just in talk for just right at near the high. And sometimes within the pattern dynamics, it's very evident, right? As you would look at Ethereum, would be a great one for us to discuss, right? Ethereum would be a strong one for us to discuss in line with the exact top. This is a situation where covering it with, I'd say covering it with a degree of, let's go to that monthly chart is nice. Let's go to that monthly chart in terms of that A, B, C, D, E. And I think I have another. Yeah, I do. That is the other. Let me go to the Ethereum chart here on the left. But as we would look at, where is Ethereum? There we go. There we go. Calling Ethereum within, and within the threshold, Ethereum put on another $500 on top of my high, right? It just did, and that's a percentage gain, which could have been covered strategically, etc. That's 11% on Ethereum that I missed out on. I just did when I sent out notification, right? Angel, when I send a notification like via Twitter, etc. This is the high based upon the monthly time frame, right? That I had drawn out. Yeah, I missed the top of Ethereum by like $500. And part of that was due to the patterning and its frustration. So in line with trading the pattern, in line with wanting it to go higher and develop into a super trend, something really phenomenal, right? It just wasn't expecting that. So within the threshold, before the 50% drop. So, you'll always have your own threshold in terms of, well, you missed it by $1, you missed it by an inch, you missed it by a mile. We don't want to miss it by a mile. When you talk about how to call the top, that's more than adequate in terms of before a 50% drop on Ethereum. So me personally, I focus on some bigger coins to make those kind of calls on, and it helps for me to get some feedback in terms of from what we say from like Elliott Wave International, like commenting on that as well when I brought that high up. Boom, that's nice. So yeah, we're front and center. Like with BTC, did we get the exact high on the notification of the double top? Was it within $500 or $1,000? Well, it was. And we can go back and look at it. But when I brought notification of the double top, it was up in this area. Was it the exact top? It was within like, maybe, I don't know, maybe like even $5,000. Maybe again like 5%, maybe somewhere around 5% of the all-time high. So within threshold, it's if you want to get the exact top, we're very good at live streaming. You guys know that. When we live stream, we're extremely good at calling the top. For some reason, we can draw right onto the screen. And recently with the dot charts that I've provided to you, etc. The first one was right on with the red line that I provided you. Direct hit onto the red line. And the first 60-day interval, dot smashed into exactly that red line. I'll let you know on the second red line, I was looking for it to overachieve and compete beyond that. So yeah, upside targets are not I don't know, they're not impossible to the extent that you can cover them with an additional cash position and you can sell later without having a primary original position. That may seem foreign or scary to people, but it is very much in the framework of advanced trading at high levels. How can you sell something when you don't even own it? That's part of the ballgame, guys. As you look at Ethereum or BTC, neither one of those issues came to surface, and those are the two main focals for me. So that's just that is what it is. So looking into this, but it's a great question. How do you sell at the absolute top? When do I sell? When do I sell? Well, it's a little bit complicated. I'm going to answer that you can still sell if you don't have your position. Most people don't like that, but if you have the capital position to cover that and the skill application to, not that anyone here wouldn't, but it's not just. If you flip the scenario of the Fibonacci's on the downside, what do you have to do? You have to cover yourself on every lower trade, every lower level. How do you do that? With more cash, with compounded more cash into it. But what if it goes to zero? Well, is there a solution for that? Is that what we just talked about this, Angel? Is there a solution for that? What if it goes to zero? The same thing with selling it. You try and key in on your acquisition on the lower Fibonacci's, right? The ones with the highest, I'd say, from the golden pocket 786 to the 86, the highest probability of hitting. You gain exposure at that level. Well, then what about, if it's going up, you've sold already, but you still want to participate at the higher level? Well, just like your question there, if it's going to go to zero, well, what if something decides to go to infinity? It's the same question. It really is the same question. And you would eliminate in that data set, you would eliminate of what you would trade anything that could literally take away the position, your capital operating position, or something along those lines. But that's a very decent, well-framed response to your quote unquote, how do you sell at the top, right? A lot of times just TA, what's your target, right? And if it underperforms, it underperforms. If this is your top, that's your top. If it doesn't want to perform to the top, right? Predicting other people's behavior, the overall market's behavior, to the extent it conforms to technical analysis and expectations, and sometimes it's completely random. You may have a restart of a war, and it hit to the next highest threshold on next highest threshold on, let's say, your Fibonacci extensions, right? You may have an entire next round of extensions with a huge purchase that comes through, right? On your extensions to the upside. It's the same componentry that you're looking at in terms of capitalizing at that level, right? So if you're in a broad-based continuation march to the upside, the sell and continue to sell and continue to sell falls flat. However, to the extent that your ranges and your intervals are adequately spaced above you, right, at institutionally, fundamentally market-recognized levels, then you're not at you're at a less of a risk, and that's all highly computationally delivered to people who are in that business, right? And I don't I mean in that business, because at that point it's a business. It's not a laptop and a desktop and a few different and you know that too, Angel. It's not a laptop and a desktop. It's a floor. You got a floor and a trade desk with 15 traders or 20 traders. You got 3 VPs on the phone, hammered through. You got a different ball game in order. So, and we compete with them. I don't know who else got the top of the. Let's see. I don't know anyone else who got the top on Ethereum. I didn't really see that anywhere. I just didn't see it. I looked for it too because I went out there with Elliott Wave International, so I was excited about them. And whatever trade VIPs enter, personally speaking, when you have to invest in crypto to trade crypto, got that. What is your risk to reward? There we go. How much do you believe in your investment and trade? How much do you want to make? Double and triple down. Boom. Trade out. Get your moolah. And if you wish, buy back in if your belief is upward. There you go. And the cool thing, play with some house money. Like, good gosh, you want an easy answer? Man, let the house money ride. Get your capital back. Get your principal back. Let the house money ride. If you're not willing to play with that double down, let the house money ride. And I mean not your own home money, right? I mean the house. Like, let the house money ride. Let the your your non-principal, okay? AKA your non-principal. Non-principal. For starters, right? Just to for starters. Just that's an idea, aka your non-principal for starters, right? As we would dig into, that issue, it's a. Let me look on the side, see if he. Let's see. And as we look at like your principal, principal return versus, let's just say, is is first priority. I'll say first priority. Oh, I just see that my autocorrect said principal, not a principal, a principal. There you go. Principal return is your first priority. Your return of your capital investment, right? Then you have your return on your investment. But it's not financial advice. But as you guys look at it, a lot of times, like on BTC recently, you guys heard me in this zone, and you guys remember I was like, you've done so well, you could literally take back your principal and just let your profits ride, right? Not a bad scenario there. Just let your profits ride. But I don't always tell people when to sell. I just don't. Sometimes I like them to tell me when they want to sell. That's interesting to me. When they want to sell, right? To the extent that people are comfortable knowing when and how to get in and get out. That's the idea of trading. There's not always a clear-cut solution, right? So the market can surprise you. Can kind of be like a snake sometimes. You guys know that, huh? Market can be a little bit like a snake. Can get up and bite the best of them. Always with the double, triple down, or if you're shorting, double, triple up, right? And make sure that your interval spacing for shorting or for longing if you're going down, shorting if you're going up, that you have some reasonable expectation of some volatility. It's expressed that. Angel got into a little bit of calculatives, but right, that you have some volatility here. There's some reasonable expectation of volatility. It's not just a straight moonshot. Like, what's the derivative gain analysis? What's the gain? What's the threshold this thing likes to move in one pattern, uniform, fell, swoop, up, period, right? What is that? Right there. The most that it likes to just absolutely skyrocket up. The most that this coin likes to really take off to the upside. Right about that, right? So you would work that in with your extensions if you wanted to short. And a short game is, typically involves a lot of capital, guys. To really do it well, it involves a lot of capital. So, and sometimes guys get burned. AMC, perfect example. You guys saw AMC. What else happened recently here? Those guys get walloped. They're high risk trades. A lot of them are high risk trades. The payout could be phenomenal. Those trades can make. Those guys can make. Was it George Soros? Don't comment on who he is. Don't care about that at all. But he made $1 billion or $4 billion, whatever it was, shorting the pound with the Bank of England. That was a risky investment. He broke the Bank of England. So yeah, he got huge returns, but it kind of a gutsy move, right? So that's his mainstay. Nobody else did. It was a very risky move. A lot of those risk-reward equations will wind up with some pain at the end of them, right? In terms of that cost-benefit analysis that Angel talks about, a risk-reward threshold. Like Soros broke the Bank of England. He's known for it, right? So to the extent that you're looking for a little bit softer of an approach, there's nothing wrong with buying on spot, right? Boom. Hit your targets. Trade your patterns. Enjoy the market. Don't be overexposed. And we got into some complicated talk tonight, but that doesn't mean that it's a complicated night. It's just, it is what it is, right? Doesn't have to be like a finance class. It's crypto, right? We're looking at the top line, resistance, bottom line, support. And so in terms of that, yeah, one of my best memories was not only just like this successful exit with you, AJ Crypto. Hope you're in the background, my brother. But yeah, hitting that phantom trade right at the top. Nailed that, brother. I'll never forget being on the phone with you. And because that's a heck of an exit, dude. That's awesome. Like right in this zone, heck yeah. Like boom, up in this area for phantom. Just nice exit for phantom. Just hugely well done. And looking back at this, what was that, December? It was, I'd have to look back. It was right near the top of the preceding. Not sure if it was this one that we were trading or this one we were trading. That was in January. Don't think it was this one. It's actually the preceding, around the all-time high. It was during this stretch and threshold here. Bam. Absolutely around this threshold. Just boom, right out at the top. That was nice. Go ahead and book that trade. Boom. Nice run on phantom. Nice rebound if you schedule into those Fibonacci's. So, yeah, you can definitely sell at the top. Buy at the very bottom. Sell at the very top. I'm just going to reinstill that in VIP. That's just going to be it. I don't want to buy low and sell high. I want to buy at the lowest price on the map and sell at the highest price on the map. At least make that your goal and see if you can accomplish that. Let's get back into the fundamentals on BTC, and let's see what else we got. But the same way that we would talk about that, Angel, in terms of like DOT, let's see if we get into like dot. Is that dot on 5 minute, on hourly, 4 hourly? Let's see. Yeah, like on dot, Angel. You look at dot. I gave the top of 3 targets on a list, right? What if crypto got shut down? Well, then we would need to lower target, right? So, kind of predicting everything in line from warfare to everything else that's going on with the market, etc. Like you need threshold, you need to schedule in, be ready to like double, triple down into, and yeah, the targets that I came up with were like spot on, bang on, like very nice in terms of the 4 hourly, like painted the floor with those suckers. That's very nice. That's exactly bam. That's within threshold. If you do the same thing along your top, I'm usually throwing one figure out in terms of like BTC or otherwise. The one on Ethereum, that was a nice call on the top. But yeah, this is within, even without that. I mean, but it's just like hammering into, like schedule in, double, triple down, 1, 2, 3 levels down from that bottom line target there. That's 50% in 37 days. That's nice, especially on leverage, etc. So, not bad at all. All right, so on to waves. Not everything's as easy as Rune with an 86 staring at you. Quite a few are, but not everything with like 300% on the tail end of an 86. That's like hand wrapped, like everything you want for Christmas right in one, like, the whole tree and everything. You get to keep all, you just walk in, it's all the presents, everything you wanted, all in one room. You walk in and they tell you get to keep the tree too. You're like, yes, I get to keep everything. That's like, that's dynamic, right? That's funny. Not bad, huh? Not a bad Christmas analogy. Matos in the house. My man, what's up? Not a bad Christmas analogy. Love that. Angel has the spirit of a champion for Christmas. I will state that for the record. He's a good going guy. I'll say that. Great friend. Maybe best friend, I have to say, guys. I don't know anyone else who really, I have to say this, I don't know anyone else who really loves the market as much as Angel does. I just have to say that as a matter of fact, period. There it is. That's the bottom line. He will spend all day and night and the next 10 days and nights, if required, and beat the market. I don't meet people like that. If I text him at like 4 in the morning, he's up. If he texts me at 4 in the morning, I'm up. It's just the way it is. We're just geared towards beating the market, so it's nice. And let's see what we got in terms of this. So BTC hit our line of resistance. Waves is taking off, doing pretty well, 13% to the upside. XCAT has been just rearing up and along. Rose moving just a touch. Let's see. Rose, what a price! I mean, that was awesome, guys. Earlier this year, kind of transitioning into, it's getting a little price action right now. That was nice. Rune back up in the strut. I had that key focal, and on Rune, this is my deal. You guys hear me sometimes say this, and like, what does that mean? In terms of sometimes your resistance is just that, it's a line of resistance, right? You cannot get up and over it. And you look at it like, whoa, there's a line of resistance way up there. Yeah, other times it's like a magnet, right? And you're down here, and the resistance is way up there. Yeah, so sometimes it can operate as this huge, ugly thing you don't want to deal with. And other times you can look at it and just say, wait, hold on. You mean, yeah, it's going to act like a magnet, bam. I always look at resistance like that. Okay? Now, I'd say the caution would be if it decides to, rock and roll along this way and hit it at a different level of after spending more time. That's not encouraging, right? So, and Angel, you never told me that you had invested in Rune before I brought it to you. That is weird. You should have told VIP about it then. I brought Rune to the group last year. I remember we 2x'd it. You didn't tell me you peppered in before then. Unless it was one of your magnitude coin dispersals in the market. could have been. I have a feeling that Angel goes on heydays and buys everything in the market. Honestly speaking, it does not make, let's say, it does make it a little easier when you're still holding at ridiculously lower levels. That's the truth. Big time truth. Truth indeed. Yeah, Angel just goes on buying sprees. I'm sure he knows everything he's buying, but sometimes it's good just to do a general acquisition. Do a crypto inventory. You know? It's just, that is important. Watch your candle wicks here on the differentiation. The key would be to bust this and go to the upside. Bam. That would be an impressive move by Rune. And the entirety of the market participants are measuring that right now for an additional potential move to the upside, about 200%, 194% to the upside. If you have compounded your money up and through here, you have enough to chill and relax and see if you want to double the rest of it, if it wants to do it. And it's not a severe question at all. Is it going or not? If you have participated herein, you are completely chill and relaxed, and you know you can let some ride for the eventuality that you will reach that top target of $31. And it's no stress on you or me, because you hit your target, right? The 86, boom. Easy stuff. Easy stuff. Yes, you do love going shopping. It's a good thing, huh? I think he has his wife shopping too. I don't know what all her holdings are, but she's never going to sell it. All I know about Nikki. It's cool stuff. It's good to go shopping. So yeah, that hourly is a little bit it's not ideal. The framework of the bull flag, I'm just glad that we're in the framework of the bull flag. Don't like the 5 minute. Noted already on BTC. Not happy about that 5 minute. Bam. Certainly isn't a death knell for the market. You guys know that. It's just not. Angel, I haven't told you. I'm glad you're here. Huh? Let me put this in here. I'm glad you're here, Angel. For the record. Boom. There we go. There he is. I don't know where else you'd be, but I'm glad you're here, brother. You're the man. We have a good time. And Freddie, I'm glad you're here. Who else we got? Slim. We got Pathfinder. We got Torque. We got, in the back, I got to believe there's some old guys from old VIP who are just sitting there. Yeah, you need to join back again. I'll just tell you, if you're an old VIP and you're not anymore in VIP, zero sweat, regret, anything. Just come on with it. I think I even made a bad comment well, if someone directly insults me and gets like mean with me, I don't want them to be on VIP. That's not cool. Like, unless they like ask for forgiveness and tell me I had an awful week or something like that. They would tell me like, listen here, son, or I'm like, whoa, it's like, but that doesn't mean that I need to disparage them necessarily. So I should stay frank with that. And I also shouldn't pick favorites in terms of military divisions of the United States, in terms of the United States, I don't know, guys. Industrialized military complex, just love the whole thing. And I should too. I shouldn't pick favorites between the Army, between the Air Force, between the Marines or the Navy or something like that. Even though I may have my favorites, I shouldn't do that. I should be happy, one and all, for all of the military dudes and around that are capable of trading or want to learn to trade, not to show up and give me flack mouth. Because I have dealt with a lot of little students at the master's level of an Intel where I was trying to tell them the right answer and none of them wanted the right answer. None of them. I'm like, good gosh. So I've heard a lot of flip and flack and all that other stuff, from military dudes that are, going to come teach me a lesson. I'm like, man, you don't even want to learn what is in your book. And I'm sure that I'm the first one to have that. I'm sure I was the first one to ever have that happen with any military guys everywhere. So anyway, we love the U.S. Armed Forces. We like joint task force or joint forces overseas, etc. Big fans of all things military and all things market. We try and balance that out pretty well. A lot of tough dudes in this trade group. And some of it's military, some of it's logistical, i.e. logistical, etc. Some of it is just tough dudes. One of the top traders I know, top trader from Wall Street, not even one of, really like the top trader of Wall Street from a prior year, who was at my hedge fund, just small, non-ACC, et cetera, private hedge fund. But the guy would literally fight the #1 MMA fighter. If the #1 MMA fighter were in town, he would literally go to the gym and fight the guy. Like Tito, like some of the big dudes. And I'm like, but he had that mentality in the market and everything. I'm like, okay, dude, like he's just a tough guy. So a lot of the guys in trading, they're just tough guys. I mean, in terms of the mentality, the framework. Not that you have to be that at all, but that is a dynamic. I don't know why. It's just some tough dudes that are able to, because it's just not it's not always nice. The market's not always nice to you. Sometimes you kind of have to have a tough approach, and whether or not you're military, or whether or not you're even a tough dude, it takes a little bit of that framework. Some people are highly technical, so highly technical that it just makes sense when I see someone's charts and they're so highly technical. I'm like that they've got it. They're beyond the emotion. Other guys may mask it by or get through it by just kind of like, okay, so it's a battle between me and the market, right? And it takes that degree of either highly trained technical aspect. Sometimes the aggression can get over whatever the fear factor is in trading, right? But I'd say it's preferred if the technical approach can win. So no one needs to be military. No one's of course, no one needs to be like a born and bred MMA fighter from birth, like from age 2, he began fighting in the octagon. We don't, no one needs that. But it's just an interesting dynamic too. It's not all like, pussyfoot around with, you guys get it. There's some guys that know what they're doing. That's enough said. So anyway, let's see. Dun 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 dun. Resistance support, flat support indicative of a descending triangle on the 5 minutes only. 5 minute flat line support, bearish indication with the failed bull pennant with a move to the upside, symmetrical triangulation, right? That symmetrical triangulation, the natural fallout is that bull flag, which unfortunately has coincided with now a contradictory flat bottom, contradictory in that the descending triangle at the top of a price action typically would be a bearish feature. And it's contradicting the notion of a continuation in the form of a bull flag with the channel formation to the downside after a run up. That would be a continuation pattern expected to the upside. Thus, the contradiction inherent after the pull down today. Excited we had VIP in the mix, ready for the pour down to the line to book the trade. What's up with the VIP? Shout out to all the VIP. Shout out to Pathfinder. Shout out to Slim. Shout out to AJ Crypto. Shout out to Angel. Shout out to Freddie. Shout out to Craig. Shout out to everybody. I have your pictures. Your pictures are supposed to be scrolling through right now. I have no idea why it's not working. I have no idea. Let me see what we got. I buy more of what I'm already in a trade in. Good. Buying crypto, baby. Good. Everything else doesn't compare. That's good. That's Crypto King, yeah. Crypto King is that? Huh? That has to be, huh? I believe so. We have set the threshold for Crypto King. There you go. Very nice. Remember, VIPs, do you want to make 2 to 3% 10 times or wait to make 50% if it happens? Trading is work. Oh, gosh. That's one thing people don't get. Huh? Trading is a lot of work. Huh? Without a doubt. Huh? Without a doubt. It's a lot less work. Huh? It's a lot less work. Here we go. A lot less work with proper TA. Let's see what he says. Anyone listening, I recommend you get that book. Yeah, a lot less work with proper TA. And the 0.86 retracement and the coins, and the right coins. You have to have, you can focus on the right coins, of course. That's that is the ball game. Is figuring out which coins to focus on. Good gosh, but you could work 10 times as long. Literally, you could work for 10 years trading something with very little volatility, very little price action. You could trade something going sideways for eternity and not make any money. Technically, still, you could make money. Would that be a condor? You'd have to get into an option with a condor. You guys know that? You know what a condor is? It's a type of option. Don't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it at all. Do not pay attention to what I just said. It is complicated. Hey, Freddie did a super chat. That is so cool. All right, I'm going to the threshold here. This is for Freddie in the house. Freddie with super chat. Everybody pay attention. This is for Freddie.
How may I help you? Thank you and enjoy your flight.
And so, Freddie, what we're going to discuss is anything that you choose to discuss. We appreciate Freddie very much in terms of being a VIP, in terms of being, and I want to scale and see how this worked out in terms of the graphics. But Freddie, VIP in the house with a super chat, very well appreciated, very very much appreciated, Freddie. We just, yeah, good. So we got that alert on. That alert was built for the dynamic of letting you guys know that we had a super chat. There's more to it. Freddie didn't work out exactly as I wanted it to. We smashed through the Bitcoin wall. That's the whole idea. We're going to smash through Bitcoin. I'm going to work on the dynamics later, but that was for you. There's supposed to be, oh, there is. I didn't do that right. Dang it. I didn't do that right. That's my fault. This is supposed to be up
How may I help you?
like this.
Thank you and
like
enjoy your flight.
There we go. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, Freddie, I've done it twice. Now, the next super chat, it will be framed correctly. My fault, my complete fault. I don't think that you were able to see the entirety of the notification. I've done it twice now. But yes, I wanted to do that if indeed anybody did super chat, because I just thought it was cool, and I wanted to I want to reframe and add some additional like funfare for you guys to kind of chill out, let you know that super chat is on. It's just cool. I like that. So, in terms of Freddie, you let me know what you'd like to discuss now. You let me know what's going to go down. Let's see what we have. Freddie, it's like gratitude will always determine your altitude. Yo, isn't that great? Yes. Thank you for the gratitude. Thank you so much for the gratitude. It means the world. It really does, Freddie. Just a little bit of that ongoing push from your end to me means a lot. Boom. And I really appreciate that. Yeah, Angel, I had told you that I had developed some additional graphics, etc., and we're working on some different stuff. Have been since 2022 started, and we're just excited to have you here, Freddie. Just can't thank you enough for just some gratitude. That is awesome. Freddie, VIP, just awesome, guys. Freddie is, I don't think you'll mind me telling people, but looking towards, first of all, I know that Freddie rode up Luna in a 3L position, so in a leverage position. And it's just nice to see. Freddie did, let's see, did 3L Luna. That is so cool. Luna through the all-time high. Boom, boom, boom. That is just crucial. That is awesome. Love to see that type of framework. And I'll put thank you. Boom, 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 boom. Thank you, Angel, for the graphics, etc. We're working on this, on making the channel as great as we possibly can. And Freddie just makes a big difference. You're willing to say thank you like that. Thank you so much. As we chat quite a bit, I just want to make it a special chat for you in terms of what you would like to discuss. In terms of anything you'd like to discuss, I just want it to be kind of your time. And I appreciate you just with the gratitude. What would you like to discuss? Freddie. Let's see. Since Super Chat is on, you let me know. We do. We have the golden bowl. We have the Super Chat on, Freddie. Anything you want to discuss at all in terms of technicals, parameters, specific coins, anything, you let me know, and I will try and bring the heat as much as possible in terms of those specific discussions of what all you would like to discuss. This means a lot, Freddie, that you would do a super chat. That's really nice of you. I really appreciate that. It doesn't go without saying. It's like, it does mean a lot. I know Angel is kind of like the super chat king around here, and he's just been kind of chatting recently. No super chats, but he's a super guy, and so I understand that he'll do super chats as he ever sees fit in the future. And so we just chill and talk quite a bit. And it's nice to have that recognition, Freddie. Thank you. It means a lot for that for the channel to mean a lot to you out of beyond the dollars and cents. It's not always about the money. It's about kind of what it means to me as I spend time with you guys, and that's the big deal. As we spend time together as a group, it's just it's reinforcing for the group because it's just you're doing well, and I tell that to Angel all the time, and I'll say that to you. Like, it just reinforces to me when you super chat that you're doing well, and I need to know that as I'm doing what I do, because it's a lot of time and effort on my behalf. And you guys just know this. You're trading, I'm facilitating, trying to bring together a great trade environment for us to all learn, us all conquer the market and beat the market. And it's just reinstilling to me that you guys are doing well. And I always bring that up, and it's like the super chat lets me and everybody else know that you're doing well, period. Right? And so it's just it's reaffirming when you guys do well on a consistent basis. And that's the way this channel really works well, is when you guys are doing well. Because otherwise, if everyone's just kind of mediocre and maybe kind of beating the crust today and, not beating the crust tomorrow, whatever the crust is, like, cut the crust off and then I'll take the sandwich. Like, no, I don't want to cut the crust off. I don't want the extra crust or cut the crust off kind of crowd. It's like, if we're doing well, show me you're doing well. That's real easy. And if we're all grown men, we can be like, okay, I'm either not doing well or I'm choosing not to do what you asked me to do. It's like, well, if you're not doing what I asked you to do, then, if you're doing well, then I don't know that you're doing well, right? Because you're in a group that you're not doing what the group's asking you to do. So it's just simple, right? Real simple stuff. So thank you, Freddie, for the gratitude. And I mean that. I hope all of you can do kind of what Freddie does. And, I put people up to challenges in terms of, like $1 million challenge, this challenge or that challenge, you choose to kind of contribute up and around a specific level or whatnot. And I look forward to what all you are going to do in 2022, Freddie. I know that you're going to do great things in your workplace. I know that you're interviewing for that new job. I wish you the very best in terms of that. Freddie let me know that he has Freddie has I think a brand new, well, I don't want to say too much on the air. How about that? Because I don't know where that is. In terms of, I should probably cover that. A new job in the back of the DM, maybe with a VIP in terms of our trade group. Maybe I should just, in terms of different chart allocation, I don't know where that would be. I'll cover that. I have no idea what I just said. It was probably something that was like, we have little, side duties in the back for DMs. Nothing big, nothing a real job, right? So maybe I shouldn't say all of everything, but I'm excited about any good news that I hear, whether or not you're busy in the back of our, just, during the nights, just no big deal, just kind of a side gig, not like a real job. But as we would talk about any potential for future mobility for anybody in the group or otherwise, with the trade group, etc., like what all you're doing. Just it means a lot that you guys would let me know you're doing well. You let me know you're doing well with those super chats. Freddie has set the mark tonight with the $25 super chat. And we have behind him Super Chat King, Dogecoin. He says Dogecoin. Very, very nice. He wants to discuss Dogecoin. Copy that. Boom. Let's see what we got in Dogecoin. Let me have a sip of water. We'll get into Doge just a second. Let me have a sip of water real quickly. I need to pick up a Dogecoin. We need to pick up a Doge. I will pick up a Doge feature here in a little bit. Let's crank out the Bitcoin satellite here in a minute. Let's do the Bitcoin satellite. Let me see if I have anything else with a I'll give you guys a picture of the jet flying while I am off for a quick break, just to take a quick sip of water. Then we'll go through the specific. Then we will go through the specific. Let me see if I can get the jet flying. And where's that jet? Where's that jet? We need a jet, don't we? Freddie is the high flyer tonight. Thank you, Freddie, for the $25 donation. Let's get into the specific for Dogecoin. He requested something on Doge, so I would love to do a feature for him on Doge. Let me get into the symbol. Let's link this out. Looks like ETH is down just a touch. Getting on into Dogecoin. Let's see what we got. All right, Doge down 1% here. And it's going to be a good discussion. Let's dig into this real quickly. All right, the key feature on Dogecoin, as you know, was that critical 86 acquisition. That was the key feature. We had stacked into kind of not unlike Dot. Dot was down into several, just like a Dot was down into a retracement, but we had several. I had provided Angel with a triple down feature into the bottom of Dot, DOT, Polkadot, and on. We'll shout out to Freddie. We'll shout out to Pathfinder amidst your super chat just to let Pathfinder know that we appreciate his hitting that 86% retracement, just square on. Doge went into its 86% retracement, and to the extent that that is our own custom feature, period, it just is. So everyone else can argue with us if they so choose. I don't think that they will need to, because you all know that is my level. I love the I stick by that. Let's see, 0001, and the 75 is fine. Looking at that 86 retracement, you just heard that continually from me as that being my level, my research level. In terms of anything else that anyone else would have, that's just the level that I feel is highly appropriate. Now, hopefully I don't get limited in terms of our, it's interesting. Hopefully we don't get limited in terms of our exposure to the overall community, that we have really accurate targets on the market. I hope we don't, but sometimes you think about things like that. Would the fact that we can carve out the exact bottom on a coin, would that limit our ability to interact with people on a like on any kind of a level with YouTube or anything else? I don't think that it would. I hope that it doesn't. But to the extent that would, I don't think that it does. But I bring that up because not everyone discusses the 86 at all. It's a very particular level, and we're the only ones that I've researched and that has that information publicly available. To the extent that that represents some advantage on the market, I'll just say it is indicated and was indicated in the pickup of Dogecoin, the exact bottom. So from that specific level pickup or the other targets, you had a run of about 45% to the upside. You're currently up about, 34%. Current price is 14.24 cents. Okay. You have locked horns with the daily 100 moving average, right? That is a difficult level to deal with. Second level up, the top side of a current cup and handle would be contact with the 200 moving average, right? The 0.1722 thereabout. Let's call that 0.1718 to be specific. Right now, that is a variable level on the daily. On the 4 hourly, you are up and above a recently, let's just look at this, a crossover, and let's see how recently. We have flipped this before, just to notify you in terms of that crossover of the 100 over the 200. We might look at other crossovers, but we have flipped this before, just to talk about in this context. Is it a unique situation? It's been flipped once, twice. It's been flipped twice, okay, in terms of that 100 going up over the 200, to the extent that you would want to designate that as a strong bullish function, right? Or a bullish, I'd say a bullish element that you would want to say, well, we've flipped, those EMAs have flipped. Let me actually add on the bands, and I'll go ahead and go through this for you. Let's see, EMA bands. Bum, 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 bum. Do we do Bollinger Bands ribbon? There we go. EMA ribbon crypt. Let's throw those on so that we can see where we're at on the daily. That's going to be the expression or equivalent of the chop as well. We've gone into the green a few different times on the chop through the retracement. This was a nice zone in here, that level from 18 up through 35. Right before the capitulation, retest of the moving averages, capitulation underneath, another retest of the EMA bands underneath. We've just been unable to really gain traction up and above the EMA bands. The good news is we're above them now, and we're looking for a use of support over up and over those bands. As we look towards the RSI, I want to do kind of a comparative analysis on the RSI. Let's see, what was the RSI like when we were really cranking through? You guys remember last year in 2021, man, Dogecoin really got going. I mean, just days where they had to shut down markets, literally, quite a phenomenon. They literally had to shut down markets because Doge and lock the coins, shut the market, shut the exchanges down. There was such a demand for Dogecoin. Really a phenomenal journey as we look at Doge. Nice, really a bull flag formation here with a run up after a, let's just look at that, after a wedge, which lasted for 2 months, then up into a bull flag and a higher bull flag, right? 2 10x opportunities within Dogecoin. Just to review what 2021 offered, and you guys know, if you'll review the tape, I did call the top. We called the top of Dogecoin. In addition, we hit so many of these features along the bottom side. We hit so many trades on Dogecoin, guys. We traded the lights out of Dogecoin. And I'll never forget those fun days when everybody was involved in Doge, that VIP, that first VIP with the Doge, with everything good. We had a lot of fun, didn't we? That was a really good time. I have designated, let's say, this top level of resistance. Let's do this clear with the white lines. And it looks like we may have a bit of a channel in formation in terms of that bottom line expression. It is slightly condensed, okay? So it's a little bit of a slight condensing there that we would look at, or constriction amongst the lines. We have broken out of a technical wedge here within, which would be indicative of a bullish expression that we would expect price action to the upside. The bottom line, as we look at the current situation, okay, as we look at like the 1 hourly, is we are currently retesting, okay, and we are retesting a critical level right now in terms of the specific. It reminds me of Ape a little bit. If you've been trading Ape recently, don't know what happened to Ape. I think they got spooked because they heard Freddie was going to sell. I honestly don't know. That could have been the reason, Freddie. We have to look back at the notes, but I think about that time you had an opportunity to take a little extra, or I think you spooked the market saying that you were going to sell your Ape. So to the extent that Ape was up and out of a very bullish expression, Ape was up and out of, as I would look at this in terms of Doge. Look at Doge on the right with its cup and handle formation. Let's look at Ape real quickly just so we get a good understanding of what happened to Ape. Freddie said he was selling and the market literally just turned off. You guys know that? Just uncool. I know no one was happy about that, but literally Freddie said he was going to sell. We were looking at an ascending triangle. Now Freddie hit into, after we called the top, and you guys know on the top of ApeCoin, just very nicely done. Looking at the, this shouldn't be locked. Is this locked? Let me see if this is locked. There we go. As we called this top line formation, you guys got that video on the top of Ape right here. All right, just purely technical price action with an ascending or descending triangle along the top. You know, you'll see that very frequently, okay? In terms of that target to the downside, we called that target to the downside as well. That was nice I guess to prepare the traders. I mean, some will say, oh, it's at the top, there's no more trading going on, right? The other traders will say, well, it's time to hit the golden pocket, or hit the hit that right into that golden pocket. Like, if there's a top, let's hit the let's go. It's time to target. That's what Freddie did. Freddie, nice to see you charge into that. And I just make a joke about when you said you rode up after I brought that to the group. You rode that specific 3L up, very nicely done, up over. You more than doubled your money there within a week. Very nice to see that. But you'll see why it's familiar now. Ape formulated a pennant and thereafter failed the pennant and the flag formation that it was in. But you just see it's a bullish expression of an ascending triangle that was formulated, right? So the retest of this top level reminds me on Dogecoin, just reminds me of this Ape formation to the left. Not that we have an ascending triangle, but we have a similar formation with a retouch, right, or retest right at that line of prior resistance to confirm it as support. And that's essentially an instance on Ape of failed. We would just call this a failed confirmation, right? That's the bottom line. We call it a failed confirmation in line with that failed top bull pennant. So looking at the, let's say, looking at Dogecoin, not to create the perfect analogy, and yes, this is what's going to happen, but the structure of it reminds me of what you sold all of your Ape. Good. Well, you did make 35% in Ape 3L after London brought it up to the group. I wish I had a larger position, but nonetheless, it was VIP. Well, good. Very good. That's killer. That's good. Boom. There you go, brother. Looking at the framework on the right, to the extent that we had a failed confirmation, this is what we don't want Doge to necessarily do right now. And Freddie, if you weren't overexposed, hey, you know, you definitely lived to trade again. There's a next. If you're looking for a heavier position, as long as you weren't overexposed on it in the beginning, that's what enabled you to trade in the first place. And you do a really great job in terms of lining out your targets and buying in at lower prices, etc. You do a really good job of that, Freddie. You're one of the better VIPs at that. So as we look at the bull flag we caught, it was a nice move to the upside. To the extent that we could call this a bull flag currently, could you guys think that we could call this a bull flag if we were to look at the framework of Dogecoin? Looking at the let's see here, this is a tough bull flag to make. Okay, we have a steep bull flag below it played. To the extent that Freddie right now is looking at a bull flag and asking, is this a bull flag? That's a good question. All right. To the extent you're asking that question, there are other people who are wondering if you've already broken your level of support along your channel formation. Okay. So that's a difficult question to I'd say to just automatically arrive at the clear conclusion to. I don't want to be waffling at all in terms of this. We've seen this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We would like to see another trajectory out, up, and above. That's the expected Elliott wave formation. We'd like to see a completion to 16.5 to 17 cents, right? The amplitude of the cup and handle. No one in the group, no one that I know of, not a single VIP is of the opinion that cup and handles are our favorite patterns. No one likes to trade them, guys. I mean, as I'm talking through the group, it's like nobody likes to trade cup and handles because we trade and we know what they do. They're just not. They're not welcome. As you look at it, it's just not a welcome. It's not a really aggressive bullish feature. Ascending triangle, sure. Bull pennant, sure. Bull flag, sure. When we start getting into different dynamics, can it surprise us? Sure. I mean, absolutely, it could surprise us. To the extent that we have a correlation with Bitcoin, I think that's the bigger question. To the extent that we have a correlation with Bitcoin, we'll just look up Bitcoin here. We don't want that. We want to add in a comparative. Where is my comparative button here? What is this? Indicator template. Where is my comparative button? I think I have either shrunk this down. I have shrunk this down. That is really bad. Whoa, I can read that now. That's much better. Okay, I was really, really shrunk down on the menus, etc. Menu, etc. To the extent that we would, let's just do this in terms of, so we don't have an orange overlay. Let's look at BTC on the right here. BTC on the right with a potential flag formation. Let's make sure we're on the same time frame. 30-minute. Let's go into the 30-minute on Doge with the 30 minutes on BTC on the left. All right, so to the extent that we have a clean correlation back through the 14th, that's the same time frame as you see here on BTC on the left, and you see Dogecoin on the right. To the extent that we have a let's do a comparative in terms of the returns. First of all, let's go to the returns. BTC maxing out 27%, Dogecoin maxing out at 38%. So we have some gains. Dogecoin has outperformed BTC. Not bad. That goes not unrecognized. There have been a lot of coins that have outperformed BTC. We'd like to focus on BTC. It's those sometimes it's the mix and match approach of what you it's not all what you invest in. It's the other one you could have invested in, right? And in that mix up of altcoins, which one's moving next? Oh, that one's moving. Well, this one, it's the division of your capital. You guys know this, the multiple places, the multiple coins that you wind up putting all your capital into, that if you just focus sometimes, at times it's good to diversify your portfolio. You guys know that, not financial advice, but it's good to diversify your portfolio to the extent that things are correlated or moving or completely not moving. And you look back at those days where BTC goes up 10 or 12%, you're like, God, if I would have focused on BTC. Those are the days that get you. Yeah, those are the days that get you where BTC 5L is screaming through the roof and could have handled the entirety of your exposure to the altcoins. And it feels good to have those days where your altcoin's up 30 and 40%. It just does. But when it's with, 5% of your money, it's still a big win. You still get to pound your chest about it and act like King Kong. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, I guess I could have had, while the rest of my money is not moving, while the majority of the rest of my money is not moving, and the other altcoins for that day are underperforming, BTC has a way of catching up with people and kind of giving them a little bit of that remorse. While there are some altcoins that purely outperform the market, and that's the nature of a market, you'll have those outliers that do overperform. So let's go to the 4 hourly. Look at a little bit of just a touch of a dynamic of the 4 hourly. It's going to be the same measurements in terms of the completion here. Let's look at Doge is down 2%, BTC down 0.5. So you're getting that increased volatility to the downside. Notable, huh? Especially if you're on a 5L on Doge. You need to definitely note that. Are you in a clean bullish pattern to pick up at? No, you're not. To the extent that you've done your Fibonacci's, and that's a nice place for fibs on BTC, isn't it? Just right there. That's not a bad place at all for fibs on BTC. Prior breakout there in. Probably would want to lay that out a little bit better. I have that ascending triangle. I have an ascending triangle. I was discussing that as the premier feature the bulls would have liked to really see was a real flat top on BTC. We didn't see it. We have this rounded top here. That doesn't really qualify. That was just in the context of what ideally could have been offered to the participants. So this is a kind of an old chart from a discussion that we were having in terms of BTC. So looking at the framework, are we in a bullish structure right now for a continuation pattern necessarily to the upside? What would be required for us to find that for Doge? Let's see here. Let's just dig in. Since Freddie gave the super chat, give him some time. Appreciate that. And just lets me know you're doing well. Lets me know you want to trade. Lets me know that you're interested in Doge. You want to know an entry. You want to know an exit, etc. Not just chit chat. It's nice. You're serious about trading. Much appreciated. So let's see what we got. Always spend time with people who are serious about trading. And I know that Freddie is. He will dig in with the best of them. So let's see here. Let's go from the 4 hourly to the resistance support, resistance support. We had a flip there. Let me go to the indicators real quickly on Doge. We switch over my RSI feature real quickly into a different input and look into the framework here real quickly. Let me go to the 4 hourly. Hit. Okay, we're due for another hit to the upside. Okay, with the notion that you may need to double down into that hit. Looking at the specific, that's real clear in terms of the specific Fibonacci's between prior breakout measured up to current. You got those, right? Made due on candle wicks. Let's take a look at that aside from all the patterning that's going on and take a look at how tip top of shape she looks like she may want to get into. Yep, she hit into, where are we here? We do this from the breakout level there. Yeah, you've hit right down into your 786. That was a big pickup. Man, that picked up at 786. Boom, huh? Nice pickup if you hit that 786. Yeah, 786 was a nice pickup on Doge. Perfectly indicated. Bam, into the 786. You're in the money if you pick the 786 up. Not much, but a few points. 2.5 points on that. The biggest question you're going to have on this, the biggest question which you need to cover, okay, you need to make sure you cover this, Freddie, if you're in Doge, okay, is the potential for a return to your prior resistance on your ascending triangle. Okay, this specific prior resistance on this ascending triangle framework that we had talked about in the interior ascending triangle, and I had all these arrows pointing up, and was just telling VIP in the back it's going up. I mean, essentially the arrows up, right? Back in these levels here with the ascending line of support, flat top resistance with a flat top resistance. The thing that needs to be cautioned and the potential covered would be, and the biggest word of friendly advice I could give to you, not financial, but friendly advice, is just to be prepared for this lower level and this lower level period. There are orders stacked up. It's a prior resistance. Show me a prior resistance, I'll show you orders, period. I know bull runs get away like bull runs get away. But in terms of like just all in, and you know when you started VIP, I think you doubled your account in a number of days, right? So those moments can arise, right? They just can on BTC when she decides to go screaming, right? To the extent that let's see here, that Doge is in a framework to just go screaming to the upside. What I would say is this: I would like to technically see, me personally speaking, I would technically like to see a second hit upon support. That makes it difficult for this bull flag. Multiple hits on resistance. I'd like to see multiple hits on support, believe it or not, in terms of any specified move that I would feel comfortable really trading. Now, if it gets up and out, it's up and out. You're on the golden pocket right now. Is it a bad entry? No, you're on golden pocket intra-fib. You already hit your 786. And I guess we can work that in the framework to the extent that that is, and this will be the 2022 check your candles. To the extent that we're comfortable in just spending, and hopefully this provides a little bit of a framework that maybe you hadn't looked at yet. You probably had, but you just woke up from a nap. Man, that's a good deal, Freddie. If from now on he's just going to hop in late, do a super chat, and just be like, all right, well, what I miss? I need to talk about this. That's a good deal. I like that. That's you gonna start your own channel? I will be there, without a doubt. That's funny. I appreciate the gratitude. Bottom line, I think it's funny. I'm messing with you a little bit. So looking at this framework here, first of all, you have a slight constriction to it, still bullish. Okay, in terms of the framework of the descending wedge. All right, just as we call it, the way we see it, it's perfectly here. Now, there's a little bit of room here to expand that. It's not a real strong constriction yet, and to the extent that we would want to make the preceding just perfectly, was it a constriction? Was it really a little bit of an expansion towards the end of that? What was nice is we had we had here, if you'll recall this, we had this nice, solid bull pennant. We just can't cover this enough, right? Just the bull pennant flipped into the flag. Bam, right? Here we don't really have the bull pennant. We have a nice rounding into a support, resistance. Now we do have a support. Now that I look at this, it's not bad. You're not out of the question of continuation to the upside. Now the question is going to be with this. I'll say this. The question in line with this, and it's going to do this to us, just look at this specific feature and this pulled down. It's just going to rail down into this. Now, this is going to be the question. You have people with orders below, already with orders below at the 786. You may have picked those up in your sleep. I don't know. Literally, you may have. Setting that 786 from that prior breakout, right? The prior breakout zone, bam, from the flag, initiate targets to the top line in terms of your Fibonacci's to the candle wick, bam, 786 indicated, boom. Past the golden pocket, not quite to the 86 yet, or that full retracement, okay? You have that secondary golden pocket will be in play. You look for some confluence if you're on your desktop, right on. In terms of the secondary lower feature, those are in play as well. And then just so that you know, you'll look for some overlap or confluence, and you're very good at targeting. I just know that for a fact, Freddie. So I'm not worried about your application of the fibs, etc. But this is something in line with something that I really wanted to trade and not be overexposed on. To gain some exposure, I would do like a triple fib on it. Not that they're all in play now, but to the extent that anything would represent an overlap at the higher levels, I would definitely pay attention to that. That specified, and as I look at that, what is that? That's the 786 with the, there you go, with that 38.2. All right, that's somewhat interesting, okay? On that macro, pay attention to this if you can, Freddie. That macro, I know it's a little bit detailed, but do check out that 786 is also on target with the 38.2. Okay, that 38.2 being right here. 786 on this micro was the 38.2 right here. Okay, so to the extent that 50% is in play as well, you don't have an overlap at that level. You did have an overlap between the 38.2 and the 786 on this level. That was an instance where it did pick up. Okay, so if you're accumulating or if you're trading, if you're targeting lower, do you have a carry position? Probably like to know a little bit more about what you're into. We can discuss that in the back in a little bit. Potentially, if you guys are looking at the continuation pattern, the lower level acquisitions versus a pattern play to the upside. What I would say a bit is just to be aware of the fact that this could scream to the upside, right? It could also juke out very subtly here. If it were to juke out subtly there and express some more frustration to anyone who had gotten in on that juke, it could play out quite well to the extent that it wanted to formulate, get more aggressive and formulate a bull flag. The nature of a strong continuation, bam, bam, move to the upside, I think would be indicated on the pennant, which we do see that, or on the pennant, on the falling wedge, on the falling wedge, As we look at the polyline formation, we know that technically speaking, yes, falling wedge is a straight continuation pattern to the upside. Now, they're bullish. More often than not, you see them bullishly expressed in terms of their overall movement. Sometimes they formulate a double top, right? If you trade them a lot, you know that. It goes without saying. Sometimes you'll also see traders picking up below in these levels with these targets to recapture a move up and through here, like a barely, up and through the end. That's when it's less bullish. The most bullish you can get, bam, it's moving to the upside. Down to the let's say the possibility for a feature where it's maybe working within the structure of a bull flag, not a strong move to the upside, but it wants to reformulate in this area to formulate a bull flag would be nice. We'd like to see that. That'd be really, really positive for Doge. We'll be watching that in the back. We're always on Doge. We know this. And got my eye on BTC. It's down 0.39% to 47,250. To the extent that this, we could create an equivalent parallel high here, that would be ideal. This was not a perfect, it was a pretty steeply oriented, let's say, bull flag at this level. It would be great to see another powerhouse routine here. It's going to depend on BTC. I believe in the long run, although Doge did contravene recently and blister to the upside. That was nice to see. So Doge has it in its DNA to do that recently. We are up against something that the traders don't like. You guys know this. We are up against a specific cup and handle. Bulls just don't like them. So essentially we're reconfirming. Let's deduce it down to this. We're reconfirming, to go back to the origination of the thought here, in terms of the cup and handle formation, we're reconfirming and into a falling wedge. Okay, the confirmation move, prior resistance, is being done with a falling wedge. Okay, I'd prefer to have it being done as a bull flag. The strongest confirmations that we trade, that we see, and I mean strong confirmations, and we can rank them, are typically with a bull flag formation. This is more of a pennant formation. So to the extent that you've got targets underneath, congrats. If you've hit those targets, congrats. If you can book trades now, congrats. We are in a technical continuation pattern for the record, and we'll back down from that. It's a technical continuation pattern on top of a somewhat difficult pattern for traders to trade. I don't want to say that, but I'll just say that every time about a cup and handle, so will most other people who've traded them. It is what it is. So let's stay tuned to Doge and see what Doge wants to do. This bull flag was a nice move. These were nice moves along the bottom. A lot of attention around that 8-6 and a couple different frameworks to pile into in terms of trading over the preceding number of days here. It would be nice, you have to agree, 33% or 33 days, pardon. But the moves here are let's see. Angel, I'm currently in theta down about 6%, says Freddie. I'm tempted to get out of it and willing to enter something more attractive myself. Interesting. Yeah, theta down 6%, man. What are you going to do? You're in crypto and you're in a trade down 6%. Well, I think you're going to make it, Freddie. Whatever it is, you're going to make it. That's not bad at all. That's light. That's no problem. So we'll watch the pickups in terms of the Fibonacci's. I'll leave these on here. You guys just cover your upside positions. Make sure that you're covered. In terms of if you want to carry function, if you've entered in low, the bottom line, did you hit your target low? You know this. Did you hit your 86? Completely different story if you hit your 86 and you're letting these other positions develop, or you want to let it ride and see if you get. Then you don't have to worry about anything. You've got if you want to roll with house money, you can take back your principal and chill, right? Let that ride and see if Doge can surprise, because it's not an awful situation. You're in a technical continuation pattern. It's an unfavorable cup and handle. because yes, those can continue to the upside. You're in the process of confirming in a pattern that I don't like. That's the bottom line. So hopefully it can continue to go up. I choose to not trade cup and handles. I don't like to trade them. Every time I trade them, they don't work out very soundly. I just feel like there are better technical patterns to trade, and I'm not the only one that thinks that. So, but I'd be prepared to rock and roll with BTC to the extent that BTC wants to rock and roll. Fair enough. Never overexpose is the key. That's right. You'll know different hammer time on bull flags, right? It's time to hammer, right? Bull flag, hammer time. That's just it. You could put up a sign in front of your deal there. The whole market's going ballistic. Every coin's going off. You got a bull flag, hammer time. And whatever your hammer time threshold is, right? You'll know your threshold, and just don't do anything that could hurt if it goes the wrong direction. Don't want to spoil your day, your week, your month. Definitely not your year, right? So I have a feeling the market's going to be just fine this year. Plenty of opportunities to trade, without a doubt. So if anyone else has anything to say, that is fine, or chat, etc., and we can stay and chat. Otherwise, I will let you cats go. And Freddie, star of the show, appreciate that very much. That is awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you, Freddie, for the gratitude. Very much appreciated. Noted. And that is great. We appreciate Angel with all of his expression of gratitude and leadership along the way. And it's been a little quiet recently. Been quiet for about, I don't know, it's been quiet for about 2 months on Super Chats. 2 months in Super Chats. Thank you. It's been 2 months for Super Chat. And I say that, guys, I need to check back. For Super Chat, it's been empty. So it's nice to have a Super Chat warrior step up. I know that Angel has more than filled his halls and walls in terms of his awards that he has for super chatting here. But it's nice to have some consistency. I appreciate that very much because it's an emotional routine for me as well, guys. You're in trades, and I'm doing TA every single day. So it's a lot. Now, you guys say, well, I'm doing it too with trading. Well, I trade and I do TA and I do the group. So it's just a big deal for me to have that consistency from like Freddie tonight. That's just a big deal for me. And I can't say that humbly enough so that you could accept it well enough. But if I could, I definitely would. And I just tried. So that's from the heart. And I appreciate all that you guys do. Thank you, Angel, for being the top contributor. Overall, 58.5 thousand. And for Freddie, you are the man. And maybe we'll pull some of those additional, just beastly streams when nobody wants to quit and everybody wants to talk TA and trade. We can do those anytime I'm here. Until then, I'll be in the back with the VIP. So excited we caught this specific move here with this function of the line of support, line of resistance. This specific pour down here was a key function that VIP were fully prepped for in advance in terms of this. You'll even see that nicely done in here in terms of that level of support to level of resistance before the fallout. So congrats to everybody. Congrats to VIP. And let's see, no shilling. I don't know what that is, that guy. And then I'll just say, I'll just put this for Angel. Thank you, brother. I appreciate your support as well. And I'll end it with heart. You guys be good. It's London with Bitcoin Spike. Let me know if you need anything at all, personally or otherwise, whatever's going on with you. I let out some just notifications to people and just take this to heart, guys. People who make a lot of money in the market understand one thing. I work with a lot of traders, a lot of them. And I have seen the money do great things, and I've seen it do awful things. So when you're on the cusp of making money or you just booked a lot of money, be good to the people around you. Stay centered in who you are. That highway is still straight, I promise. Whatever you're doing that may seem like it's, all of a sudden it's worth 2 to 3 times as much because you're in it and you just did such and such. I've just seen money wreck the person when the trade goes perfect. And just stay solidly framework into. I want that to be a big part of 2022 for us, because I've seen it, believe it or not, guys, I work with a lot of traders. I have a lot of traders around me, and I see it do good and I see it do bad. And I want that to be a key framework in 2022 in terms of what we bring to the table, is that network and that framework for us to be that team that knows what's really important in life and can always take it home at the end of the day in terms of just the overall level of success, not just in the trade but everything else. So that'll be the challenge: make enough money for that to be a problem in your trades. That's the first thing. Then we'll deal with that when we get there. Some of you are already there. I'm excited. 2022 has worked out well. I will close it with the Bitcoin bull one more time and remind you that this is the only place you saw him. And I'm glad that we are up and out of this pattern. And for the record, we will say sayonara, adios, and...